Hello and welcome to episode 42 of the MisanthroPod. I'm Snipe, and as always, I am joined by Wib. Say hello.
Hello.
And I'm also joined by Led Rumblebutt. Say hello.
Hello.
How are you lovely gentlemen doing today?
Hey, I'm surviving, doing all right.
All right, Drummerbat, how are you doing? A bit less grim?
Yeah, no, it's all fine.
Oh, good.
How are you?
Oh, I'm existing. I wouldn't call this living. But yeah,
Wow.
Off to a good
We're
start.
off to that sort of start, yeah.
Okay, anyway, just moving on from that, we've got some news to talk about.
From one cheery topic to the next, I guess.
Yes, exactly.
Assuming you're wanting to talk about what I assume we're going to talk about.
Not first, actually. We have
Okay,
something. We
okay.
have some more positive things to talk about first.
Okay, yeah, a positivity sandwich.
Yeah.
Surrounded by shit.
More like it's a roller coaster of
Good things followed by bad things.
It's literally just a really high point, and then you plummet to the lowest.
Yes.
And then we leave you in the dirt.
It's a really crap roller coaster.
Tasting blood in your mouth. And when we're finally gone, you realise why storms are called after people.
Okay.
I think I stole that from somewhere.
Probably. Oh, there is actually one thing that's not related to news that I'll briefly mention. So, last episode, you ruined your reputation.
Oh
about
yeah,
Ghostbusters.
apart from actually I didn't at all.
Yeah, because it turned out loads of people agreed with you.
Yeah, I looked through the comments and there's not a single one. Like, I was just expecting abuse from all corners, even with the people who tend to listen to this and watch your videos, who are generally speaking really nice.
Yeah.
I was still expecting some sort of kickback, but no, the comments are all fine, and I got a couple of emails being like, "Yeah, you know what, you're entirely right," and I was like,
okay. I'm glad.
Yeah,
But
I'm
at the
gonna
same
have to
time,
try
I kind
hard
of feel
next
a
time.
little bit like, I was kind of hoping for a bit of a lash. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
I was kind of surprised because, it's that I assumed more people would come up to the plate to defend Ghostbusters.
I guess more people have seen it more recently than we think.
Yeah, possibly.
I guess
Yeah.
the difference being is that I said I didn't think it was very good, but I didn't say other people were wrong for enjoying it, which how some people criticise stuff.
That's
Like,
a
if
fair
you enjoy
point.
it, fine, great. I'm glad you did. So I guess that's the difference. I'm not saying your entire life philosophy is wrong and you are a bad person.
But if you like Ghostbusters, he is. Now we wait for the anger to flow on in.
Anyway, back to the actual positivity.
Yes.
So, a few little bits of news from the Warhammer world.
Now,
Ooh.
people listening to this probably know at least vaguely what Warhammer... Who am I kidding? That's the only reason you know who we are. Let's be honest.
So, there's a thing that's been launched by the Warhammer community called Warhammer Heroes,
Okay.
where you nominate someone who has had a positive influence on Warhammer or 40k.
Someone who's given a lot to the community.
Yeah, so like event organisers or someone who has helped a lot of people get into the hobby, or even, YouTubers. And I just want to say this up front, this is, I said this on Twitter as well, I'm not saying this to say, nominate us, because we're rubbish.
No, seriously, there are so many other... we're not even being dicks about this. No, legitimately, go and vote for someone who, has been doing really good, because there's so many people in the Warhammer community that do so much good. And we just fuck about in video games. We really can't compare, so go use your votes properly.
And there's, the people that win will get a little medal and a t-shirt and a certificate, and there'll be an award ceremony at Warhammer World, and they'll have a little plaque there as well.
It's really sweet.
It's a really neat little
really
idea.
Nice.
Is this organised by the community, not by Games Workshop?
No, it is by Games Workshop.
Okay. Oh, cool. Okay.
So it is proper official
cool.
thing. So I just thought that's really, really neat.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see who gets all the fun stuff there.
I will be interested to know if any of the people that we've had contact with,
we've inflicted ourselves upon.
Yeah, in the Warhammer community, see if any of those get one, because yes, some of those guys really do deserve it.
Yeah, I mean either that or one of the developers of one of the mobile games. I mean they're excellent.
Oh yeah, all of them. Oof, pristine. Perfect. I say that I've been playing Deathwatch solidly since last week.
Yeah, after you've patched it so it wouldn't cook the graphics card.
Oh yeah,
That's okay. So if you are maybe interested in getting Deathwatch, be aware that it will cook your graphics card, so you need to fix that.
Yeah, there's a line...
Which is quite a bit deal breaker.
Yeah, there's a line that you have to insert into a .ini file. It's in the community discussion group on Steam. Because the game, its VSync doesn't work, and what it does is it will just run as many frames as it physically can all the time.
Ooh,
so
okay.
It has a habit of running at like 200 frames a second, and making graphics cards run at like 90 degrees.
So it's not good.
Okay, right, okay.
Unfortunately, because the VSync doesn't work, when you lock it down to 60, it does start suffering from screen tearing. But personally, I'd rather have screen tearing than a cooked graphics card.
Oh, yeah, no, same.
Yeah, fair enough.
But anyway, we got back onto being negative. Another positive thing that's cool, there's a new Sly Arbo figure that's been announced. Well, I say announced, it got leaked from December's White Dwarf. He's plastic. He's going to cost £15. And
It's a good price.
Yeah,
For once.
Yeah, I mean it's better than the £25 Primaris special characters.
Yeah,
And yeah, there are some interesting things about the model, in that he has guile hair for some reason.
What hair?
Guile hair, from Street Fighter.
Oh, okay.
It's basically like Paul Phoenix's, but he's stood up too fast in a low-ceilinged room. So it's a bit flat off to the top.
Okay.
It's a little weird. He also has a Venus flytrap on his base.
It's not a Venus, it's Kato-chan man trap.
Something like that, yeah.
Venus flytraps are great.
I think Kato-chan Mantrap is possibly its actual canon name, to be fair.
Oh, what is it now? It's supposed to be Katachan or something fucking stupid. I can't remember. I was watching that video by Alpha, and he was making a joke about how it's supposed to be pronounced a different way, and I was like, fuck off, Alpha, I'm not pronouncing it like that. I don't care how correct you are. God damn it.
To be fair, I think Kato-chan is one of those words that,
Katachan.
It depends on the author and the audiobook. Well, I guess
Kit Kat.
Whoever's reading it, they'll read it different and say it different. It's one of those awkward ones. But yeah, I think we all have to give a big thank you to Alpha Booster.
To Alpha Booster for the reason. He is the reason we've got the new model. Because without him, we are lost.
Because of his obsession with Slime Arbo.
Fucking When Twitter changed it so you could have a shitload more characters in your username, he just changed his name to Alpha Boost. Ah! It was beautiful. Stop looking at the waveform nervously.
Yeah, sorry, everyone's ears.
So yeah, that's the thing. I don't know when that'll be coming out. Like I say, the announcement was supposed to be in December's White Dwarf, but it's kind of been blown a bit now.
That, yeah.
Through leaks. But yeah, I guess now we're on to the bad news.
Oh yeah, I mean, we gotta talk about Battlefront fucking 2, don't we?
Yeah.
You've been keeping up with this drummer butt?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I haven't played it.
Yeah, no, obviously.
No,
for those who might not be aware, EA... Well, yeah. I'm not going to cast any shade anyone who doesn't know, that's fine. But EA, being the evil pricks they are...
I mean, it's in their name, evil assholes.
Evil assholes.
Yeah.
It's not... Electronic Arts is a cover-up.
Yeah.
But yeah, what they've done is, because apparently the games industry is all centered around loot boxes and basically paying full price for a retail game and then having to fucking buy a bunch of microtransactions or DLC because they ship the game barely in fucking one piece and they sell you chunks of it later.
Games as a service.
Games as a service, which EA is a fucking massive proponent of. They're disgusting. And they pushed gamers until they snapped recently because somebody worked it out on Reddit where it would take someone 2,000 hours to grind out Darth Vader or a special character.
I think it was Darth Vader to get everything.
Yeah, to unlock the character. Or you could just pay for loot boxes and pretty much get it as soon as. Which people got really mad about, understandably. An EA representative actually replied which I'm not going to get angry at the representative because they have to spout this absolutely caustic garbage because otherwise they'll be fired, but they are still working for Satan's dickhole.
Yep.
But they basically turned around and was like, well, you see, these are, like you gotta grind and stuff like that because it gives players a sense of accomplishment, and basically just sat there sucking EA's dick all day, as an EA representative is paid to do. This made the internet pop the biggest rage boner I have ever fucking seen, and I am very glad, because this shit has gone too far. It really fucking has, and EA have been pushing that for so long, like, FIFA games, they're abusive. You know, the new one every year, it's literally just like a reskin, maybe a shader update. It's fucking disgusting. The Sims games? Don't get me started on the Sims games.
Well, they fucked Dead Space up pretty hard doing that.
They fucking ruined... They have left so many game companies dead in their wake. They buy things and they kill them. DICE is going to be next. They are fucking next, because they've done Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now... After this bullshit initially kicked off, DICE did an AMA on Reddit. Now, that was a real fucking nasty move on EA's part, because they're just going to axe the fucking company anyway, but they got the people from DICE to do the AMA.
Yeah.
And when the devs were replying to people's questions, they were getting downvoted so much, it didn't even show the responses.
Oh, good.
They were getting downvoted that fucking hard. Now, I was sitting there the whole time going, okay... It's not like people were wishing death upon them. People were threatening to fucking kill them, and I don't just horrible fucking things. And it's like,
don't do that, everyone. That's bad.
No, that's fucking gross. I want EA as a company to die, but I don't really want anyone there to die. I want their company to die. And like the poor people working with DICE getting death threats and shit. It's like, you do realize this is EA pulling the strings, right? They are beholden to EA.
Yeah.
They will have I've heard that the actual Battlefront 2 is so good and so well made. But then EA would have come in, swung their dicks around, knocking out supports, getting ready to sell them back to the players, because they don't fucking respect gamers or anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, I played a bit of Battlefront 1, and I know that wasn't particularly well received either for just being kind of half a game that had all of its parts kind of chopped up and put into the Season Pass. Mm-hmm. But, the actual core game, I quite enjoyed, and maybe it's just because, the Star Wars veneer and... the little things like it had, linear wipes when you died and came back to life.
That's the thing. You can tell that there was love put in there, and then the fucking money-hungry pricks came in and ruined everything.
Oh, yeah.
And, so this whole thing, cut a long story short, a long venomous bullshit story very short, this has started making governments look into the loot boxes in video games, which I am very glad of, because, there's, a couple of places in Europe where it was like, this is gambling and we're fucking investigating you.
Hawaii is doing it as well. I think there's a few states that
there's a few states that are doing it.
I know Hawaii is a state.
Yeah.
I know.
But I'm glad they are. Now, a lot of people might disagree with me with the whole loot boxes are gambling. They literally fucking are. I'm sorry. But you're putting money down for things, for a box of God knows what. You don't know what's in there.
And it has value to you, so...
Yeah, and another argument that I see a lot is, it's only cosmetic, it doesn't matter. Actually, if you're one of the few people who cosmetics don't matter to, good on you. That's good. But to the majority, they matter.
Yeah.
They really do. Because it's a nice little bit of individuality, you want to get your character just right, you really like your character, you want to dress him up in a fun little hat or fucking whatever. It's important. And then, my biggest problem I've seen come out of this is... I saw people on the Rainbow Six Siege subreddit thanking Ubisoft for not being, microtransaction-driven fucking psychos. That made me so angry.
But Ubisoft are microtransaction-driven
They're literally
assholes.
EA who don't apply themselves as much. They really are. Ubisoft is it could be as evil as EA. It just doesn't try that hard, which I'm kind of grateful for.
Yeah, they're not quite at the Konami scale of incompetence, but
they're close enough. And I was fucking shocked by that, because there was something they go, thanks for, I see the microtransactions in Rainbow Six Siege as kind of a, hey, this is we like your game, let me chuck you a tip. And I'm like, that's fucking not what that is. That made me so mad, because my brother has been playing Rainbow Six Siege for 2 years, and he can just afford one of the big, expensive operators with the in-game currency.
Yeah.
Just. And it's that's not okay, you pricks. And then, now this blew my mind as well. Now, as much as I like Overwatch, and I know everyone's groaning, oh, Snipe's talking about Overwatch again, but this is about the bullshit of loot boxes. It is related. I'm not just like, oh, now I get to talk about McCree again. I saw people thanking Blizzard. Like, thanks, Blizzard. Thanks for not doing this. Thanks
But they did it.
They literally did.
They're the ones that were probably got a lot to blame.
Yeah, they're probably the biggest dicks here.
Because they put loot boxes into a full price game and no one got angry at them. Apart from like Jim Sterling.
Yeah, no, to be fair, I got angry, but I should have been more angry. Because this kind of shit is not, especially when you have like time limited items.
To be fair, when it first launched, because I mean, the whole it's all cosmetic thing isn't an argument, but I think it does nullify when Overwatch first launched and there wasn't any time limited skins, and you were just buying, and the loot boxes you just got skins. Like then it was just a random chance to get things you liked, and that's not so bad to me. That's
true. That's not so bad. But the thing is, with the games industry, with these big businesses that don't give a fuck about video games that we love, they see that as a backdoor into our fucking wallets. They don't give a shit. So even if, I mean, I think microtransactions are perfectly acceptable. Like Warframe. Warframe does it perfectly.
Yeah.
Loadout is another good example.
Yeah.
Yes, it is all cosmetic, but the game is free to play. You know, that's the chucking things in the tip jar, not fucking paying 25 quid for a skin.
Like, if you've paid for a full price game, you should get the whole game, right?
Yeah, you should get the whole fucking game. I mean, like, if Overwatch didn't have loot boxes that you could buy, and it was just, luck of the draw, then I'd be like, okay, it's a bit annoying because I kind of want all the skins, but I'd be fine with it.
Yeah, and I think
because it's a full price game.
And Overwatch makes it worse with its time limited skins, like event skins. So if you really want one, and especially since they've tweaked it recently, I'll say recently, about 6 months ago or whatever it was, like, it's become actually quite difficult to be able to even buy them with credits. Because special skins.
They've dramatically lowered the duplicates, which means that you don't get as much fun bucks to buy the event skins, which are like double the price, or like they triple or something.
They're triple, they're 3,000.
They're triple the price, and especially like Halloween really pissed me off with that, because every single skin that came out was a legendary.
Yeah, they've been doing that recently,
and that was like, okay, you're being a bit of a dick there. But I digress. I'm talking about the games industry and loot boxes as a whole.
Yeah.
They are fucking horrible. And what bugs me is that everyone's so outraged now, but it's like, we should have been getting this mad earlier. We should have been getting mad about loot boxes and full, like paid loot boxes and full fucking games earlier.
It's frog in a warm bath scenario, isn't it?
That's the thing. And EA just came in and turned it up full.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there is at least that now this is actually going towards like legislation. It means this stuff might actually go away.
Well, good, because it's fucking... the only word I can think of, especially in EA's case here, is the word predatory.
Oh, it's very, very exploitative practice.
Viciously so. And it's like, okay, so, I mean, the way I kind of see it with gambling is like... I mean, I think gambling's disgusting. I think it's just really cruel to kind of... the whole poor tax thing, without getting too far into it.
Yeah.
That's kind of... I think it's repulsive. And it's preying on people's hope. It's gross. I'm sure, like, a lot of people will just be like, oh yeah, I go out to Vegas with $1,000 and that's a lot of fun, and then I go home. That's fine.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But this is a legitimate thing people can get addicted to, and it ruins people. It's like, you know, if you're gonna have warnings on alcohol and cigarettes, why don't you put them on fucking gambling and that kind of shit,
I think
you
the
know?
thing that makes it extra kind of predatory is because this stuff is not considered gambling. It means it's in front of children.
Yeah. So it's like, oh yeah, the kids can play the gambling game. I saw something about Jack Black talking about his kid spending like $2,000 on microtransactions in a game.
Fucking hell.
I think I'm pretty sure that's correct, Jack Black's kid. But yeah, I did see something like that, and I'm like, even if that's incorrect, I've heard so many stories about kids just going, yes, I will buy all these things because for some reason my parents' card details are on here. Yeah. It's like, and plus if they classify it as gambling, I can't wait to see what the next insidious, like, sticky-fingered bullshit is.
Well, the next bullshit is, to be honest, going to go the other way, because you know how lawmakers have a habit of not knowing what the fuck they're doing a lot of the time.
This is very true.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm slightly worried that they're going to go too far, and they're going to be like, okay, well, that's gambling, but then, like, random loot drops, like, I don't know, like, a game like Diablo, or any sort of RPG game where you get random loot off an enemy. You're putting in time to kill enemies to get random loot. Mm-hmm. Like, is that going to be gambling? And it's not, and it's very different to this loot crate bullshit, but depending on how they word what they're going to do...
Yeah.
I'm a little bit worried it's going to go...
That's a fair point. That is the thing with...
Like, where do you draw the line between putting time in to get loot boxes and putting time to get loot drops off bosses? Or, I don't know, like, it's ridiculous, but the whole situation's ridiculous, so...
Well, I mean, like, I would say definitely the inclusion of monetary exchange, that's the gambling thing. Like, you could, in that kind of with that kind of example, use WoW as maybe like, oh, it's a monthly subscription to get, and the main game is to get levels and get loot, and you don't know what kind of loot you get. So you could, if you really wanted to stretch it that far, but other games that don't have, say, like a monthly subscription fee, I don't know.
Yeah, it's that.
I just hope it doesn't come to that.
I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just a little bit concerned where, some of these, like, a lot of rules that have a good intent can be abused by people who want to abuse them.
Yeah.
And this whole thing should just be don't be dicks about things. We shouldn't need to make a law about that. It should just...
Well...
When it comes to EA, apparently they do need a law to say stop being a fucking twat.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Should we... Big business and all that.
Yeah. Well, speaking of big business, let's get on to our second depressing topic. Let's talk, and this will only be quick, gentle viewer, about net neutrality.
Okay.
Now, we're only bringing this up because it is vitally fucking important. So, for those of you who don't know, net neutrality is lovely, it's wonderful, we need to keep it about, because it means that ISPs, internet service providers, cannot charge you extra or choke or throttle what sites you're viewing. So, this is currently only really, like, the big hoo-ha is about it in America right now.
Yeah.
Portugal already has it.
Yeah, I think there's some places in Mexico have it too.
Some places in Mexico have it. It's fucked. So this means your internet service provider can turn around and go, oh, you want to use Netflix? You're going to have to pay me another $20 a month. Just for seeing Netflix.
Yeah.
So... Oh, you want to use Reddit? Well, that's going to be another $15. Basically, if EA was your internet service provider, that's what it is. So, if you are in the USA, please... I can't remember what you got to do.
You have to speak to you have to, like, send messages to your representative.
Your local representative, and say that you want them to appeal this bullshit, because the thing is, it's like, it might seem like, oh yeah, just, like, it'll be fun. No, they'll keep pushing this, because that means way more money for them, and they don't give a fuck.
Oh, but Snipe, doesn't that mean they'll be able to make speedy channels, so you'll be able to get to the things you like faster?
Don't start, because then you'll have to pay like £200 just to use Facebook at an appropriate speed.
Yeah, and then that will just be the normal speed you already have, and they'll just slow everything else down. It doesn't help.
Yeah.
Fuck that argument.
And personally, I'd rather that it not happen in America, aside from just basic human empathy. Mm-hmm. But because if it happens in America, that means it's more likely to start happening in other places. And I know that, without putting too fine a point in it, our fucking absurd, greedy, shit-ass fucking current government would totally double down on that if they could.
They'd suck the repeal super hard.
They would totally do that here.
Yeah, so...
if they thought they could get away with it.
This is very important. So, you're probably sick of hearing about it, but this is super fucking important. And now we'll get back to talking about stupid video games and dicks.
There's a link to easily write to your congressman if you're American, or is it congressman or a representative? I don't know which you need to write
I don't know which. We will put a link in the
find out
description.
and we'll put a link in, so you can just click it.
We will.
Yeah.
John Oliver also put up a link to the FCC forums.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a couple of really good videos explaining what it is as well, actually.
Yeah. Way better than we'll be able to.
Oh, yeah.
So, but no. Probably sick of hearing about it. Very important. We urge you to do something about it because it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's so viciously anti-consumer. It's disgusting.
It'll screw streamers over, especially.
Yeah.
Just any content creator who uses video in any way, shape, or form is going to screw them because the amount of data that they upload is outrageous, and anything that's going to choke them or charge them more for using things is it's gonna price a lot of people, especially amateurs who are just doing it for the fun of it. It's pretty much just gonna price them out of the market.
Yeah.
They will not be able to do it, so it means they will have no chance of being able to have a potential career, which is, and that's just one type of person that it would fuck over.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah. Let's start talking about more fun things, because I'm sure people don't tune in to hear us get genuinely angry about really shitty fucking practices. Unless it's about, I don't know, Hanzo players or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Which, Hanzo mains like the repeal of net neutrality. I don't know what I'm trying to do.
That's too harsh.
That's too
even
mean.
on Hanzo players.
Even on a Hanzo main, yeah. Like, you know, I might rip on them a lot, but they still kind of have souls. I mean, what they would refer to as souls, but you know what I mean. Anyway, Wib, what have you been up to?
Well.
Get me out of here!
Everything's
serious and unfunny.
So, I will, I'll just mention a quick thing. We did play Battlefront 2, the old version.
The one people like.
Yeah, because obviously there was a Battlefront 2 made in 2005 as well, which...
Because naming concepts, fuck everything.
Yeah, of course, we're going to have 2 games called Battlefront 2. That's
God. A friend of mine messaged me the other day and was like, dude, I just got through this level on Thief and it was so fucking scary and awesome and atmospheric. And I was like, yeah, girl, I remember, like, I don't remember that much about the game, but, like, that game was so atmospheric as a kid. It used lighting fantastically. It was really moody. And she kind of, like, was like, I mean the new one. I was like, oh, fuck. I'm so old. Like, I haven't played it. Is it any good? Yeah, so fucking stop that shit. It's annoying.
Yeah. But yeah, the old Battlefront 2. I think it's safe to say that a lot of the people who talk about it in these hushed tones as it being, like, the greatest game ever, there is a fair amount of rose tinting going on. It's janky as fuck by today's standards.
I think everyone's guilty of that. I mean,
absolutely.
I could suck the dick of MGS3 all day, very happily, but Christ, there's a lot wrong with that game. Like, the controls are fucking busted.
Yeah, like, you know, games from that era, they're fairly awkward to control by today's standards.
Absolutely.
But I do get why people like it so much, if nothing else, because it's sheer scope for a game from, 12 years ago.
Don't say that. 2005 feels like 4 years ago. I hate you.
So it's I don't have the nostalgia going into it, and so I don't quite have this idealized idea of it, but I do get why people like it. It's still pretty neat, and you can also get ammo from gonk droids, which makes me happy.
Yeah, that's amazing.
My favourite part was the AI.
The AI is very good.
I like dance parties.
Yeah, those are the cute little legs. They can go. Oh, they're sweet boys.
So yeah, that's. I mean, I think you still pick it up pretty cheap. So on Steam, and it seems to work fine. I think you have to have a patch to actually make the multiplayer work, like a third-party patch.
That makes sense. Yeah,
it's a whole thing. There is a big modding community for it, so that's pretty good. I'm sure some of those would fix the kind of jankiness of running it like in modern day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
And probably
especially
make
with such a well-loved game.
Yeah, probably make it feel more like the game that people remember. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But where's the sense of accomplishment?
Yeah, I know. Time for my... It's not bi-weekly. Fortnightly?
Bi-weekly?
Yeah.
Bi-weekly means like twice a week or like once every 2 weeks.
No, it just means twice a week.
I googled it.
Really? It can mean once every 2 weeks?
I fucking googled it. I'm going to Google it.
Okay,
again.
you don't have to.
I want to!
It might
you really
do now.
Don't have
I was
to.
looking it up actually recently. It's just completely off topic, but because it's biannually is every other year, and biennially is twice a year, so the word's slightly different. So I don't know if it's the same for weekly.
Oh, okay.
But either way, fortnightly it's just better, because then there's no confusion.
Yes.
Yeah,
unless you're American, you don't know what that word means.
Anyway, before we got bogged down in pedantry.
Yes. Bogged down in pedantry is the name of the podcast, basically.
Anyway, bi-weekly, appearing or taking place every 2 weeks or twice a week.
As a word, then, it's fucking worthless because it can mean two things that are so different. Mm-hmm. That word means nothing anymore, then.
Okay, I don't control words, Matt, okay? I'm sorry. You might think I do, but I don't.
Anyway.
Not yet, anyway.
So, the last episode of Star Trek Discovery came out. I don't actually have any continuity errors. The last 2 episodes were actually pretty good for, like, general continuity stuff.
Oh god, no, I remember you talking about this episode to your dad when he came over, your dad's a massive Trekkie and he's refused to watch this, so you're filling him in.
Oh, no, he's watched it.
Oh, no, he hasn't watched this episode
of
Discovery.
He has.
Really?
I was talking to him about it.
Okay, that's fair, because, yeah, that was the first time I heard him actually swear properly in front of your youngest brother. Because he turned around and went like, what the fuck was that about? And I was like, Jesus, Kevin, what are you doing? Because usually he's like, oh, he never says anything that bad. He's like, oh, that's a bit of a shit thing, you know. So he kind of hushes it a bit. But no, he was just loud, proud. What the fuck was that about? I was like, damn. Ooh, they're having a proper Trekkie complaint over there. Ooh.
But yeah, without going too much into it, because again, it's Discovery. I could complain for an entire podcast about Discovery, and I'm not going to.
Thank you.
But slight spoilers. The last episode almost feels like it's setting up for the series to become basically Voyager. And considering how Voyager went, I don't know if that's the right direction to go. But also, since Voyager had a lot of potential and squandered it, then maybe this could live up to the potential. I'm being hopeful here.
Oddly hopeful.
And because what they're doing is the season is being split into 2 halves, so it's sort of 2 mini seasons. So that with 9 episodes apiece, the next 9 are happening next year, early on next year.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of interesting, like what they're trying to do. Although the level of cliche writing at the end of that last episode is outrageous.
Oh.
So the episode as it goes is pretty decent. There's a lot of action in it. Some of it makes very little sense, and they have some weird ideas about timing. Like there's a couple of parts where they treat things like, for example, they talk about, okay, they can kind of tell when a ship's cloaked. And so when a ship decloaks in front of them, they go, okay, we're going to transport someone over to them, because when a ship decloaks in Star Trek, their shields are down for a few seconds.
You can only transport someone when their shields are down.
Yeah, and you can only transport someone when their shields are down, or occasionally when the Star Trek writer forgets that's a thing.
That's fair.
Which is startlingly often. But that's how it's supposed to go. And it's literally seconds, like after the decloak happens and the shields go up. It's like a couple of seconds before that happens, so it's a really slim window. In Discovery, I think it's just because of the way they shot that scene, it made it feel like it takes about a minute.
Oh.
And it's like, well, then no ship would ever cloak, because then they'd be literally open to be destroyed for a minute. Like, that makes no sense.
It just sounds like really piss-poor pacing.
It was, and so that was just a bit weird. And there's another point where they basically make out like a ship just sat around with its thumb up its arse for hours and hours and hours, whilst another ship did the journey it's about to do. It's weird, because occasionally just time does not flow right in the episode, is what I'm saying. It's weird. But right at the end, someone does I'm only doing this one last time. I'll do it this one last time to get us home, but that's all I'm doing.
Because I'll be fucking dead.
Just because I don't know what will happen, but I'll be fine for this one last time, and you go, okay, well, this guy's fucking dead, or whatever.
Yeah.
And
also, I can't wait to tell my my new adopted kid this when I retire next week.
Oh, no, they literally do a thing where the guy goes to his partner and is like, I love you, we're going to spend more time together now, we can go to the opera.
Oh!
And you're like, oh god, this
guy. We
guy
can go to the opera after that
dead.
adopted little kid we've got, like my retirement party. And
I don't know
fucking lottery ticket I'm finally going to cash in.
I don't know why I'm like skirting around who it is by like hiding the the gender of his partner. It's the fucking navigator dude. It's obvious
Spoilers.
what I'm talking about. And you go, something bad's going to happen to him. And then, hey, guess what?
You know what would have been really funny? If everything went smoothly and his like husband just died of a heart attack.
The thing is...
messing! No, it's messing with expectations.
They were so heavy-handed with it that after they did the whole, we'll go to the opera after this, we can finally get back to being a couple. Like, after that, I was like, they're not going to do it. It's going to be fine, because otherwise this is the most terrible cliche writing I've ever seen.
I really hope they're fine.
They're not.
No, this is the thing. It's like, I just want that speech, that one fucking speech that's in all that shit. It's like, oh, and then when I leave, we'll do all the things we never did, and we'll go running on the beach, and we'll get a corgi and call it Captain Mouth Pound, and it's gonna be amazing. And then they don't die.
Yeah.
And then they go get Captain Mouth Pound.
The next episode is just them playing on the beach. The whole episode.
I would totally watch a Star Trek episode that was just a couple of guys playing with a corgi.
Yeah.
I'd be totally down for that.
I just want to look at more corgis. Wouldn't it be amazing if they made a corgi a Starfleet officer? Oh, he'd do such a good job, and he'd be a science officer.
Would it make you happy to know that there is a video online of corgis dressed up as various Star Trek characters?
Yes.
That is literally a thing. It's on YouTube somewhere. The closest thing
Why are we still doing this podcast?
And not watching that, I don't know.
I don't know.
There is the closest thing to a canon Starfleet dog is.
I hate you, Matt. I can't do that because he's sat at the fucking keyboard.
The closest thing to that is Porthos from Enterprise.
Is he a corgi?
He's a beagle.
Oh,
which is pretty good.
Yeah, but
it's pretty good.
That does actually kind of
Enterprise.
It does actually lead into. So I did a Star Trek review on my side channel.
You did. It was very good.
Last week, I think it was.
I watched it. It was great. You should watch it. He hasn't got a custom URL yet, I don't think.
It's just Wib does stuff.
Yeah, that's the one.
I think I was sure that I did set up a custom URL, but it's not working.
Yeah, YouTube doesn't work.
Yeah, I must have screwed up or misremembering, or I'm stupid.
Or YouTube happened.
Well, one of those is the case. But I did a review of an episode of the Star Trek animated series called The Magics of Magus 2, which involves the devil.
It does. And sympathy for the devil.
Yeah. Because I've been watching through the entirety of the Star Trek animated series recently.
Yes, I know.
And it's...
Yes, I know.
You're just trying to delay watching Enterprise.
I think he is, actually. That's all you've got left.
Yeah, since I've finished watching Discovery and the Star Trek animated series, the only Star Trek I've got left is Enterprise. I think I'm finally going to have to bite the bullet.
Okay, how about Drama and I dress up as Starfleet officers and just be twats for like half an hour a day? Just to keep you away from Enterprise, because nobody needs that.
In fairness, I'm feeling...
I would do that for you.
I also would do that for you. Matt, we could get a corgi, and he could be the captain.
Yes.
Oh, yes. This is happening. It's gonna be Star Trek, but with a corgi.
Maybe workshop the name a little bit.
I'll get the uniforms, you get the corgi, and we'll meet at Christmas and film it.
Fuck yes, dude. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, I'm feeling...
Ruth can be like the big Klingon evil guy.
Yes.
Because like she'll go, hi. And we're like, it is Ruth, the evil dictator.
I really want to make this now.
I know! Kickstart it, dude. It's going to be amazing.
Now I'm just imagining Ruth...
Ruth's like 5 foot tall.
I'm imagining Ruth playing Gowron with his crazy eyes.
She could do it.
I'm sure she could do the crazy eyes.
War Master Ruth can do it. Ruth the Betrayer.
But I don't know. I am, as much as I want to see this, and I will totally subscribe to your premium video service to see this.
Thank you. Link in the description.
I am feeling a little bit better about Enterprise for one simple reason.
It's because there's a dog in it.
Okay, 2 reasons. Which is that I've been recently watching through the entirety of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Okay.
I've heard bits of that as well.
Because apparently I kind of checked it and I was like, oh wow, I've watched all 12 seasons in the last 2 months.
That kind of happened to me with Breaking Bad, but I was complaining and shouting at the TV the whole fucking time, so...
But these episodes are 20 minutes long, so I kind of I'd had them on in the background while I was doing things, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I've watched the entire thing. But in the last season, Scott Bakula, who played Jonathan Archer in Enterprise, has a cameo where he's a janitor, and it's in a musical episode, so he has a musical number about how... Because he says he's researching a role, and he's like, no, my wife took all the money. And it's it's an almost Bowie-esque song asking after Ziggy from Quantum Leap.
See, I know Scott Bakula from Quantum Leap.
Yeah. How about won't you leap me far away from here?
Yeah.
It's a sad song that he has.
The thing is, what really upset me about that is that he actually played being really miserable fantastically well, and it just made me feel really bad, and I was like, look, I don't like Enterprise, dude, but I don't hold that against you. You're a cool guy.
Yeah, so that made me feel slightly better towards him, and therefore, like, whenever I would see him as Archer, I'm thinking of him doing the sad musical number, and it kind of makes me it makes me feel a little bit better about him. So I might try and bite the bullet and try and get through those first most of Enterprise to get to the last season that's apparently pretty
I don't want
decent.
any part of this. Droma and I are going to go off and make this amazing new Star Trek series with Captain Corgi and Ruth, like, being the big Klingon fucking murderer who's like the big bad guy, because she can do it. She's got that intensity, man.
Yeah. Anyway, Matthew, what have you been up to?
Hurriedly looking for Klingon costumes for my girlfriend.
Just don't go for a Discovery Klingon. Go for a
proper
TNG, like DS9 era Klingon.
Yeah.
No, okay.
Oh, I can just see her. It's like she would make such a good Klingon. God damn, I'm so salty this isn't a thing. I'm so legitimately upset. Fuck, and then we could get a corgi. Which is like, that's even better, and we could get a little corgi puppy, because you've always wanted a corgi puppy.
I do like corgis.
Yeah. And we could get into the Starfleet uniform for him. We could get him a DS9 Starfleet uniform for him.
Those are the grey shoulders. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
They are the best Starfleet uniforms.
We can shave his head, so he looks like Cisco.
Call him Benjamin motherfucking Cisco.
On his forehead. Like, I don't know, like, a dog is covered in hair, you can't really get a bald dog.
You give him a goatee because it can be later era Cisco.
Or what I'll do is I'll get some mascara and I'll just do it on the fur on his chin.
God, Cisco's
Guys,
such a
I
fucking
really
badass.
want to fucking do this. I really want this in my life, and I'm so angry. Can I be the security officer?
What, like Worf or Tasha Yar?
Yes.
Because one of those means you get beaten up a lot, and the other one means you die.
I'd rather be beaten up a lot.
Okay, so you're Worf then.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, but then she comes back as not Tasha Yar.
Okay, Tasha Yar...
Okay, it's like a weird alternate. Whatever.
Tasha Yar does come back due to a weird time thing, then she ends up on the Enterprise B, which gets sent back in time, which then she gets captured by the Romulans, and she has a half-Romulan daughter called Seela, who then comes back and is like a...
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. But anyway, our Star Trek series is going to be way better.
Yeah.
Because the captain is literally a corgi.
Yeah.
And then, like, we'll be throwing ourselves around, and we'll be like, Captain, what do we do? And it'll just be like a dog sitting there going,
Sorry, I'm just going to say...
zoom in on him.
I'm just going to say something quickly, because someone will pull me up on this. It's not the Enterprise B, it's the Enterprise C that Tasha Yar gets sent back on, because someone will call me up about
someone's just about pressed post, and they're like, oh.
By someone, you mean your writer comment to yourself being angry and disappointed at yourself.
Yeah. We'll edit this podcast, and I'll come in and, like, dub myself and go, and then she gets on the Enterprise... See. Just overdubbed it.
No, I'll dub it. The Enterprise. See. It was really good.
But anyway, Matthew, what the fuck have you been up to?
Helping me write a really cool series.
Yes.
For fuck's sake!
It's got a dog in. No, weirdly enough, so in the last podcast, we record these on this is spoiler news or behind the scenes news for the people, but we record these on a Thursday typically. Mm-hmm. Weirdly enough, in the last podcast, between you, I can't remember who mentioned what, but one of you mentioned a Public Enemy song, and one of you mentioned Rage Against the Machine lyrics near the start.
Well, I think this was in the we're talking afterwards, because I remember like going to the like bathroom and then start.
No, I was when I was listening to the podcast. That's what reminded me that one of you said it.
Okay,
so it wasn't.
The Public Enemy thing would have been from Star Trek Beyond, because there's a Public Enemy song in it.
Yeah, and I can't remember the context for the Rage song. But weirdly enough, the day after we recorded that, I went to see Rage Against the Machine and Public Enemy.
Oh, nice.
Subliminal messaging.
Sort of. Yeah, so it was like, we've never mentioned either of these things in a podcast, and then we mentioned them at the same time, and if anyone doesn't know, they've formed the three instrumentalists, so not the singer, from Rage, the DJ and one of the singers from Public Enemy, and one of the singers from Cypress Hill have formed a supergroup.
That sounds pretty super.
Basically because they wanted to play a few gigs because fuck Donald Trump, in essence.
That's fair.
That's fair enough.
And all three of them sing song, that sort of is their thing. Like,
yeah.
protest sort of music and stuff. And they were like, you know what, we should get together and do this thing. And then they ended
Prophets of Rage, they're called, aren't they?
Yeah, Prophets of Rage, which is obviously a reference to Rage Against the Machine, and also a Public Enemy song. And I don't know if there's actually a link to Cypress Hill in the name. But
well, there's vowels in it.
Yes, there is vowels in it.
There are vowels in the name Cypress Hill, that's true.
Yeah. See, I do my research before we do a podcast.
So it's not really relevant to the podcast. It's just I thought it was quite interesting that we've never mentioned either of those two bands, and then you mentioned them both the day before I go see them, which was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Okay,
How were they?
They were very good. So they reformed to do, I think it was just a one-off gig, and then they ended up jamming together, and then they ended up keep touring, and then they wrote their own album as well. So they play some Rage songs, some Public Enemy songs, and some Cypress Hill songs. And then also they've written an album together, which kind of blends the sort of music together.
Nice.
Cool.
Which is very good. It's all on Spotify and YouTube and all that sort of stuff. So.
No, like, I'm gonna have to check that out because that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's a good album. And then they do covers of all the songs that you like from the other three as well. So, and it's sort of like a greatest hit set of the other three's music plus new stuff, which is also good.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's pretty good, and it's all a bit angry and your fist in the air and sort of like fuck Donald Trump, fuck everything like this. Yeah, it's
ticking all my boxes.
It was quite satisfying. But I just thought it was a weird coincidence that you talked about the two before, because I hadn't mentioned it to you until afterwards.
Yeah.
I will say one of the funniest things that I have ever encountered in my life was to do with Rage Against the Machine, which I think it was New Year's, like early 2000s. I happened to be out at New Year's Day in a club. Blue Note in Derby, anyone who's lived there, it's like...
Is that still there?
I think Blue Note's still there.
I think it's still there. It stopped being like a rock club quite a while ago.
It might as well have stopped being there, let's be honest.
But it used to play all rock and punk music, so like it's where I learned about bands like Cap Down, so, that should give you a good idea as the sort of thing that they would play sometimes. But yeah,
the good old days.
Yeah, and then I remember on New Year's, I think it was the first song they played as New Year's happened, because it was absolutely packed, but it was also full of lots of people who wouldn't normally be in there. It was just the only place they could get into. And so,
welcome to our nightmare.
And so they played "Killing in the Name of" as like the first song after playing "Old Lang Syne."
Start as you mean to go on.
And so that meant that sort of there's all these very prim and proper people sitting there with a drink in their hand, looking horrified as the rest of the entire crowd is chanting the "fuck you, I won't do what you tell me," flipping off the DJ.
I'm trying to play uncouth.
That is, as then everyone's bouncing off them. They're just like, oh dear, it's the funniest
my
shit.
Prosecco.
Excellent. Hey, leave Prosecco out of this.
I'm so fucking fed up of fucking Prosecco. I am so fucking sick of it. Literally, when we went to Matt's mum's wedding, everyone was like, "Oh, I can't live without me Prosecco," and I was like, "Fucking Karen, you stop talking Prosecco to me! Oh my fucking god, I'm so sick of you!" And they were talking about fucking, "Oh yeah, have a nice Prosecco when it's like in the afternoon when the husband's playing golf, because I hate my husband and he hates me, but we're still together for some reason. But I love my fucking Prosecco."
Okay, this is a whole separate thing. Fine.
This is
The Prosecco was really just the
it's a trigger word.
Yeah, okay.
It's the igniter for a whole thing that you've got going.
Yeah.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
should probably talk to someone about this.
Probably, yes. Matthew, let's move us on from this. What else do you have to talk
in
about?
vaguely video game related news, or directly video game, it's a video game. I finished Grand Theft Auto 5.
Nice.
Well, I finished the... It's a computer game. It's about...
Okay, so you had me at it.
Yeah, okay, close enough. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I say finished the storyline and done all the side quests. I haven't, I'm sure there's probably collectibles that I could find. But
there's also microtransactions you need to buy, but,
I'm not sure if there is in the single-player game.
Yeah, I think it's only in
there
GTA
is for
Online.
online. You can buy fun GTA
you can buy,
fun books
money
or
and
whatever.
shit. Yeah.
I've not played online. Dicko mentioned to me that I should with him, and I would do, but I play video games in the daytime, and then I'm busy in the evening. And he plays in the evening, and so I don't know if that's ever going to happen. So I needed a new game to start playing. So I've started playing The Witcher. Yeah.
Darling, you can come sit by me. Let's talk.
So I'd previously played. I had 5 on my Steam thing. I had 5 hours played previously. So I had tried it before, and for whatever reason, stopped 5 hours in and just not.
Yeah, it is a hard game. The first one is hard to get into.
So yeah, that is my question. I need some tips. I've only played for a couple of hours, and then that.
Okay,
then
what
it's
part
now.
are you up to?
I've just.
You're in the first village.
Yeah, there's the very, or just even the first. You start off in your like keep or whatever it is.
Kaer Morhen, yeah.
And yeah, I haven't learned any of the names yet.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'm sure I will eventually. But yeah, we fought off all the people coming to attack, but then the mage lady with the far too inappropriate for fighting clothes.
Triss?
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of that disappears.
Yeah, I assumed it must do. Because...
The thing is, because like canonically, sorceresses are very vain. So it actually ties in very well for them to be all kind of like there's a character.
I'm sorry, the boob physics.
Okay, the boob physics is
on
ridiculous.
The Witcher 1.
The boob physics is weird. At one cutscene, they were like going into her body, they like sink slowly. It was as if she was lying down, and she was like, I don't know, they were like sinking back, but she was just
bungee jumping.
Yeah, it was a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the first one is jank.
That isn't the point that I wanted to dwell on. But yeah, I'm just at the point where I'm just collecting ingredients, so I'm only like half an hour in or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, just some general tips. Because I remember last time sort of getting, I don't know if I got stuck or I got distracted, but either way, I played it for a bit and then stopped.
Yeah.
So just any general advice for.
Well, what difficulty are you playing on? Because I'd say for a first time through, go on easy.
I just went on the middle one.
I'd recommend going on easy because the first one is aggressively dependent on potions.
Yeah, well, the options were easy said you didn't need potions, hard said you definitely needed them to survive, and then so I just went on the middle one.
Oh no, like on easy, it's still a good challenge.
Yeah, well, I'll stick. Can you change it mid game? Because I'm not going back again.
I don't think so. But
I'm doing it on medium then. We've already started. It's happening.
You're half an hour in, but you've already started. You can't go back now. It's just too far.
Yeah.
But no, I'd say like. Especially because like, I'm kind of more like... I played it on easy because the game was jank. And I was like, this whole potion thing's confusing. And the gameplay is really strange.
Yeah, I got... Like, it's like, how do you want to control it? Just with your mouse? And I was like, well, that must be like a weird option for people who are used to mobile games or something weird. Like, I'll play it with that. And I start playing it with the mouse and keyboard and be like... This is really janky. So
it is.
When you go to the first person view and you start actually, and I was like, okay, I'll try it in the overhead view.
And then you got to swap to like fast
like,
or heavy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try it in the overhead view, and I was like, oh, actually, this makes more sense. But then you're playing the whole game with your mouse, which is really weird.
What I did was like after the first hour or so, I got really into it, and when I booted up The Witcher 2, I was really disappointed that it didn't have the same combat. Because it suddenly made so much sense to me.
You mean because The Witcher 2 plays like a video game?
Yeah, it's just...
Yeah,
it's weird.
It's so disappointing.
You just use your mouse and all the fights are basically QuickTime events.
Well, I use my mouse and my keyboard the whole way through.
Okay.
So yeah...
It is kind of like a QuickTime event.
It is
a bit
weird.
Well,
yeah, when your pointer lights up, you click the button.
Yeah.
But
actually, what it always reminded me of was the... what was it called? It was like the way you did critical attacks in the first Fable game. It always reminded me of that.
Oh, I can't...
Because that had like a thing which...
I completed that like twice and I can't remember.
Because that had a thing where like it flagged something up when you could do like certain
your sword
attacks.
Glow or something? When you could do a crit or something.
I might be misremembering.
I can't remember. Yeah,
that's what it always reminded me of, regardless.
But no, I get that.
Because I only played like the first hour of The Witcher.
Yeah.
When we did it for a video.
Yeah. I mean, I would say potion-wise, swallow.
As opposed to spit it out.
Oh my god. Fucking...
I mean, surely a potion is not going to do much if you just gargle it.
Oh my god, you guys! What are you doing?
I don't really suggest swallowing, to be honest, but that's a whole...
The potion is called Swallow after the bird, you idiots! Stop fucking with me! How dare you? Old Raff's fucking decoction, which is cool if you've got high toxicity. Cat is always useful. Is
toxicity just drunkenness?
No, it's you die.
Okay, right.
It's poison, because Witcher potions are poison.
Okay. Because you make them with alcohol.
You make them with... alcohol's used as a potion base.
Yeah. Which makes me think that toxicity is just drunkenness.
That's not quite true. But no, it's literally poison. Like, if you would... on the first village, you can escort a barmaid back to her home. And I remember freaking out because she took a lot of damage. I was like, can I give her one of my health potions? It was like, no, because they'll kill her. Because they're basically fucking poison. Which I love the lore behind this game. It's fucking good. And the people who made it... Okay, I'm not going to start getting into that. But yeah. Swallow potion in the mouth. Always keep a cat with you.
Oh, what?
Swallow potion in the mouth, always keep a cat with you.
See,
this sounds
okay,
like
so
some
Longfang's listening and he's getting really mad right now.
That sounds like some kind of bizarre riddle.
It makes sense if you've played The Witcher.
Always keep a cat
sure
with
it
you.
does.
Yeah, a cat potion. It means you can see in the
potion.
dark.
Okay, cool.
It also means that
Remember to swallow a cat.
Yeah.
in the mouth.
Yeah.
Swallow a cat in your
Swallow a
mouth.
cat in the mouth, okay?
As long as it's not that mouth you sent me a picture of earlier.
Are you kidding? That's what I've gotten you for Christmas, you bonehead.
Okay. Just
See the tit,
for
like, between the boobs, it's got a mouth and nose with real teeth.
Just for people at home, I want one of you to describe the picture you're talking about.
It's not me. I didn't bring this into the world. I'm not describing it.
Okay.
So, earlier today, before the podcast, Snipe found an image, a .jpeg on the internet, and she is going to describe it to you.
Okay, folks. So, oh, it's really good. You'll like it. So, what it is now, I know those big fleshy kind of like sex toys you can get? The big squishy ones.
I'm aware, yes.
Yeah, well, there's basically, you know the ones that you can get where they're just a pair of boobs.
Yes.
So you can put your winky in there.
Give yourself a good old tit wank.
Yeah, give yourself a bit of a titty jangle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a section of the chest with two big fleshy kind of rubbery booby jugs.
Yes.
Right? So on these big two like fleshy booby jug kind
Yeah.
of like section, because that's the base model we're going with here. They've got some big fleshy booby jugs, and just at the top, where say leading up towards the neck and the collarbones, there is just a mouth and nose, but it's upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a really, I don't know why they have the nose there, but I mean,
I don't think the
I'm not
nose
kink shaming.
holes are actually functional for any.
I mean, I wouldn't
purpose.
think so.
Um,
But you know,
The mouth?
the mouth.
the mouth
is,
has teeth. Like there's a picture of a gentleman, like holding open the mouth, like you would see if you were currently undergoing dentistry. Like, you know those big things that dentists put in your mouth
Yeah,
so you can
yeah.
see all your gums and everything? It was basically like that, showing off the fact that they've got 4 teeth,
Yep.
top and bottom. In the upside down booby jug titty wank.
Yeah. It has a
Squeaky.
tongue as well.
It has a tongue as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be weird without a tongue. I mean, come
Yeah.
on. Come
Or
on.
a nose, let's be honest. Let's be honest, ladies
And
and
that's the
gentlemen.
thing that exists.
That's the thing that I have sent to too many friends.
Yeah. Well, it's people who are not friends anymore.
Well-
After you sent them that image.
Well, I just was like, hey, do you think Drummer Matt would like this? And they would be like, yes, that's why we don't talk to him.
Yes.
Or you, stop. Like, I've changed my number twice.
Yes.
So that's the thing I saw today. Drummer Matt, what else have you been up to?
That's basically it. I mean, with the exception of preparing for our D&D session we had, which
Yes.
I'll let you move on to in a sec. I've also been I've had all my this leads into a question I'll talk about towards the end if we're doing some questions. But
Absolutely.
so the campaign I've been running is mostly homebrewed for now. I mean, I might end up using elements from bits of the bobs if I fancy it later, but for now it's been mostly homebrew. And because you have a habit of stopping in random villages and asking what the bar person's called, etc.
Hey, I just like to get to know my environment,
that's
and
cool.
I like the environments you put together. So I'm sorry for getting so invested in your really wonderful stories and characters.
So I'm getting confused with like my paper notes. I spent most of the last couple of weeks like converting my paper notes into like one massive like the Microsoft OneNote note collecting software program thing.
Vaguely.
You can have lots of different pages and sections, and you can put in links to other pages and sections in it. So
Okay.
I've got like a nice, basically big database of all the stuff I've written with like, you can go to a town page, it's got a list of all the places in there, and then you can click on those and it will say, oh, which people are in there, and you can click on the people, and then it will say, oh, this person lives in this town, and you can kind of link across to everything. And yeah, I've put in far too much time into that.
Dude, that sounds amazing.
That sounds pretty rad.
Yeah, it's quite satisfying now, so I can just sort of keep on top of all of this sort of stuff. I mean, it's obviously all written. I don't make any of it up on the spot and then hastily put it into notes afterwards.
No. You've written it. You write everything before.
Yeah.
It's an entirely realised world full of a full population of people that you know everything about, all of their motivations, their dreams,
Yeah.
They're dark, dirty
their,
secrets.
their preferred sexual position. You know it all.
Yeah,
offhand.
totally. Yeah. So
yeah, all the vitals
hence why I
of it,
need
so.
like some sort of electronic lookup service for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I've been doing that, which is it's been weirdly satisfying actually, to be honest.
Yay!
I can get that.
I'm glad, because that's like, oh my god, that is so up my alley. I love it. Dude, I'm going to be asking about every fucking NPC. Like, walking down the street, who the fuck's that then? What's their last name? What are their hopes and dreams? What do they give up on?
They hope you stop asking good questions, to be honest.
That's fair.
And yeah, that's basically taken up my whole 2 weeks, pretty much. So, Snipe, what have you been up to?
Yes. Oh, well, I've been writing a detailed itinerary of every NPC I'm encountering in your campaign. What they're like, what their eye colour is. You know? I kind of wish I had now, but I am the only one of the party who basically does, like, battle reports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm quite pleased with. But no, we'll talk about D&D in a moment. What have I been up to? Well, I've been playing a shit ton of Sniper Elite 4 with a mate.
Yeah, cool.
Yes.
I just bought Sniper Elite 3 actually because it's on sale at the moment.
Nice. Yeah.
Because you played through Sniper Elite 3 a couple of months back, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
I played the second one and I really enjoyed it. That was a long time ago, but
I haven't. The second one's the only one I haven't played. I played the first one. Have I?
It's one of the first videos we ever made for the channel.
That's
Sniper Elite V2.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. I don't. Stupid ass naming conventions didn't get good.
What, having a 2 in it?
V2, as in V2 rockets.
Yeah, because it was about.
It throws me.
And it was also the second game.
I know, it's about the war in Germany.
It is, yes. You remember that dumb joke, but you don't remember playing the game.
You tell me. Fuck if I know. But yeah, I played everyone but the first one. But yeah, like, second one was good. Third one, I like what they did. Fourth one, I think I really like how they've kind of made everything make a lot more sense. So, like, little things like now you can adjust for distance, like, physically on your rifle, which I don't think you could do in the third one, but it has been at least a week since I played it. But no, like, I'll have to play through with you, because it is a lot of fun, because our dear friend, Longfang, bought me basically both of them.
yeah.
And, yeah, I've been playing through Sniper Elite. I played with 3 with him, and 4 with him now.
Yeah.
And...
honestly, didn't realise they were cooperative, so...
yeah, you can do cooperative story missions.
Excellent.
It's fantastic.
No one does
I really
cooperative
enjoy it.
story missions anymore.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
amazing.
It's just not something you really get, and it's like... I really like Sniper Elite for that kind of thing, because you can fuck around and one of you will be running around with a fucking rocket launcher and just being a wanker. It's me, basically. Tripping over your own fucking feet and just alerting the entire fucking compound to your presence.
You know.
Okay, that happened like once. Stop fucking hopping on that. But yeah, and it's a lot of fun because you get the tactics going when I've stopped falling down the stairs and just being a twat. And, like, unfortunately, the only problem I have with it is that there is a lot of DLC.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of DLC weapons, so it's like, I'd say if you want to get Sniper Elite 4, wait until it's in, the complete edition is in the sale or something. Or, like, the season pass is cheap.
How worthwhile is the DLC?
You've got, like, 3 big missions. Every mission in Sniper Elite 4, at least, lasts about an hour. Some last a little bit longer, some about 40 minutes. Yeah. But they last about an hour. So they're pretty sizable. Like, you get, 3 ones, you buy them individually. And then you've got the, eliminate Hitler one. Because you always need that in a Sniper Elite game.
How much replay value is there in a mission, and how much do these DLC missions cost?
I can't remember, because I was bought the season pass as well.
Okay.
But I don't know how much. I just know that a weapon pack with 3 weapons, which would be a rifle, a secondary weapon, and a sidearm, will cost you about £3.
Yeah, that's taking the piss a bit.
That's taking the piss. It really is. So
I could buy 3 games for that.
Yeah, really.
Not good. Not necessarily
not good
ones, but
no. But I would say wait until, because when I got Sniper Elite 3, it was basically just that and all of the DLC, and that's a full game.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, this is for 3 as well as 4?
Yeah, 3's pretty bad with DLC as well.
Okay, because I just bought it, last night, but I didn't get the DLC, because it was, Season Pass. I was like, well, automatically no, because fuck off.
Well, that's the thing, fucking so much content is, a lot of weapons, I fell in love with the Ross Mark III in Sniper Elite 4, and it was well, this is a DLC weapon. Okay, that's kind of shit, because, my mate, he would pick up a rifle you just find in the game and let me try out the DLC weapons. see how I liked him. And yeah, like the Ross has got like the best zoom in the game, and that's what I wanted. I'm a long distance sniper. I like sniping from a fucking long way away. And having something that can only zoom in like a third of what that can was really fucking annoying.
You see, I kind of get it if they had, like, almost novelty weapons, like, as DLC
like
weapons.
The fucking penetrator from Saints Row.
Yeah, like novelty stuff, that wouldn't bother me so much, but, like, weapons that actually have, like, legit proper uses.
And there's multiplayer as well, so...
Yeah,
it's a bit shitty.
Yeah, it's very shitty.
Also, there's, this is cosmetic again, but you get weapon skins in the weapon packs as well. So you get, like, knight skins or whatever. But you can also get character skins. So once you've completed a mission, you can go back and play as a custom character.
Yeah.
Which is fun, because you get women! You get lady snipers!
Oh, cool.
Like, there's a character in the game who you can play as, like, just after you've completed the game, you can just play as her. Yeah. Like, you play as, like, a few other characters, like, in the story mission. Like, from the story missions. But, like, you get, on the DLC, you usually get, like, two. So there's, like, two British knight camo people, and there's a man and a woman. You get two winter camo, which is a woman and a man as well. And it's like, I really like that. I like being able to play as a woman. It's cool, you know? I get to run around and be like, yeah, I'm a lady, and I'm also playing as a lady, and that makes me feel good. And I also kind of like... Because there's a really nice mission, I think it's a DLC one, where it's like a dockyard in the snow. And I had to put my snow camo DLC lady on, and my snow camo rifle thing, because I took the one that actually had a snow thing.
Does the camo actually affect anything, or is it purely aesthetic?
It's purely aesthetic.
Okay.
It's fun to kind of pretend.
Yeah,
just I'm gonna pretend that this camo means fucking anything.
Pretend you've got a high camo index and all that.
I did take snow camo on an urban mission because fuck everything, I don't care. And yeah, it's just fun. But yeah, like seriously, wait until you can get like all of it in one, because it has been chopped up pretty bad.
Okay, I'll have to keep an eye out, because like I said, I bought the base game for $3 last night, so I don't know if the DLC's on sale as well, or I knew the
you can return it if you want.
Oh yeah, maybe I could. Yeah, I'll have to look into it.
Yeah,
they've got a pretty good sale on at Steam at the moment. Presumably,
the autumn sale's up.
So,
well, the winter sale or fucking whatever.
Yeah, so I got a couple.
It's November, so it's probably the winter one.
It could be either. We just don't know. But yeah, that's. I played a bit of Rise of the Tomb Raider as well. Not too much. We did it for a video last week.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks ago, when this comes out. And yeah, I like it. It's more of the same, which is not really that much of an issue. I did do my first optional tomb today, which is actually really fucking cool. Because you have to go through... Because it's all snowy and icy and all that.
And you do like the snow and the ice.
I do like the snow and the ice. And you walk through, like, this cave, and you come up to this big drop in the middle of this just solid ice cave. And there's just a ship, this huge fucking ship hanging nose down into the abyss, just frozen into the fucking wall. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, that is. So it's like, oh, this is an optional tomb. And I'm like, well, I'm going there. Because, you know, in the first one, it was like, in the first new, fucking stop doing this. In Tomb Raider, the new one, but not the newest one.
Yeah.
You get to the end of an optional tomb and you get weapon upgrades.
Box.
Yeah, you get a loot box which you get to open on the beaches of Normandy.
You unlock Kylo Ren.
And then you unlock Kylo Ren, but only after about 800,000 hours. And yeah, it's like they've just done the same again. And I got like fancy archery techniques so I can fire 2 arrows in quick succession now. And it's like, that's pretty cool. It made me fight a fucking bear.
Ooh.
Which I wasn't very happy about. I had to make poison arrows.
Oh.
And poison the bear. And the first few times I did it just came out and just beat me to fucking death pretty much instantly. And it's like,
that's fair enough, really, to be honest.
I mean, that's fair, but I'm like... It gives you this really tiny, like, area to fight a fucking bear in. And I was looking around, it's like, there's little, branches, which I thought, well, I'll just hop up on one of those. No, you just do a swing on them. And it's like, okay, so I'm doing swinging on branches. That's fucking stupid. So after the third time, of trying to do it the game's way, I thought, fuck it. And I ran out, I smogged Cloud the bear with my poison arrow. And I ran out the little clearing, and I just hung off a tree in the middle of, like, the main hub, at, like, near the first camp you get to. And I was like, you gotta come to me, Mama Bear, I don't give a fuck. She knocked me the fuck out of a tree, which is fair, I was being cheeky. But then I got up in a different tree, and her pathing wouldn't allow her to jump down from the ledge, so I just pelted her to death with a bunch of arrows. Mm-hmm. Just as nature intended.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm enjoying that. That's fine. Very pretty game, which I'm sure everyone will be shocked that I've come out with such a controversial opinion about Rise of the Tomb Raider.
So you guys like the Tomb Raider games?
The newer ones, yeah, they're fine. I mean, the first one...
But aren't they, like, basically based off Uncharted, and you didn't like Uncharted?
I didn't like Uncharted because it's a PlayStation game.
You see,
I wanted that to be on the computer so I could fucking aim guns.
Okay, I'm not...
Yeah, okay, fine.
I'm not the biggest...
Thank you for retracting that sass.
Yeah,
I'm not the biggest fan of the new Tomb Raider. It's fine. I don't have a problem with it, but it's not a game I've ever bothered to try and complete.
I wouldn't consider it's my favourite game, but it's a decent game, yeah.
Yeah, but I will say, the thing that makes it different from Uncharted is that in the combat, I don't want to die.
Yeah, no.
Because I really hate the combat in Uncharted.
I think maybe because we're predominantly PC gamers that the combat just feels 100 times worse to us.
Oh no, I just hate the way it, or at least, because I mean the only Uncharted I've ever put any time into is the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that has a real habit of making you fight 1 billion dudes at once with very little ammo.
Well, yeah, because Nathan Drake has the biggest awareness.
And I just found something really tedious about that combat, whereas I never found that with Tomb Raider from what little I played of it.
Fair enough.
No, I mean, like...
But it is definitely heavily influenced by Uncharted.
Painfully.
That's true.
Well,
yeah.
Okay, so Tomb Raider is heavily influenced by Uncharted, is it?
Well,
is it?
Okay.
Is it fucking really?
The new Tomb
Raider... I'm fucking sick of Indiana Jones ripping off the Uncharted series. Like, we get it, okay? Nathan Drake's cool.
You know what I mean. The new Tomb Raiders took a lot of inspiration from Uncharted, which in itself took inspiration from the original Tomb Raider games.
Which in itself, like, was ripped off thoroughly by Indiana Jones.
Well, yes, of course.
Because that was pretty shameless, actually.
Yeah, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, that was... Yeah,
and you know that bit where the guy's doing the thing with the knives and Indiana Jones just shoots him? They stole that from Batman.
Yeah.
The 1989 Batman.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't. It was Batman Returns, but... No, it wasn't. It was both, I think, actually.
Possibly.
I
think they did that joke in basically every of the old Batmans, honestly. Because I remember them doing it in Batman Forever as well.
Do you remember the Extendo Dick Crusher that he had in the first one?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, the guy's like doing that and he does a flying kick and he's just like, aha, I have the Extendo Ball Smasher, and he just fucking punts him in the balls, and the guy's like, well, I guess I'll just die.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Apart from that, I've not been doing anything.
Okay.
Oh, no, I have been watching Bojack Horseman.
Nice. Again, or have you not finished it
No,
yet?
I finished it now.
Oh, I didn't realise
the most recent series.
No, yeah, finished the most recent series. Oh my fucking god.
Yep.
Jesus.
Isn't it good?
Yes?
It goes places.
See, like, Bojack Horseman has always been very kind of... It has those moments of just being so supremely close to the fucking bone.
Yeah.
And then you sit back and go, we're watching a fucking cartoon about talking animals.
Yeah, I know.
Who have relationship with people.
Yeah. And their babies, like, I was like, how does that even work? It's like, oh no, sometimes if a dog person and a person, you know, have babies, sometimes they'll be dog babies, sometimes they'll be human babies. That's just how that works.
I'm kind of glad that they at least cleared that narrative loophole up, so I wasn't sitting there wondering where all the weird horse-human hybrids are supposed to be.
Yeah. But yeah, like, episode 11 especially shocked me to my fucking
Which one was 11? I watched it when it first came out, which is a little while ago.
That's the one around his mother.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, I remember.
Jesus fucking Christ. Not only was that one of the most painful, like, experiences I've had, it was so fantastically fucking written. Oh my goodness. That kind of, and then there was the one before that was basically about depression, that was just depression.
I think it's like episode 5 or 6.
I can't remember, but yeah.
Where where a lot of it occurs within Bojack's head, and it's his like internal monologue, like how he talks to himself, his internal dialogue. And tearing himself apart all of the time.
Yeah. It's just, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a very good show.
Fucking hell, Bojack.
Yeah. It's like, I was saying to my mate earlier, it's like, a lot of like storytellers will try and they'll be like, okay, how can I make this more horrible? Oh, I know, they'll throw in something really cheap. And like, it'll just be out of nowhere. And it's really tacky. You can tell it's just thrown in there so it makes the situation a little bit more horrible. Whereas with Bojack, it's like, oh no. This is meticulously planned. And it's so fantastically pulled off. It doesn't feel like nastiness just for nastiness sakes. It feels like this is genuinely telling a story with these characters who are genuinely just this fucking miserable. And like, it actually got me kind of feeling bad for his mother. For a couple of seconds.
For a few seconds, yeah.
For a few seconds. But no, like, it's like, oh my god, the relationship with Bojack's parents is something, like, really close to the bone for me personally. I'm gonna get really dark on you now. I didn't have the best childhood, and a lot of that kind of nasty, low-grade thing in the background, and like, I would say that, because in this episode you see a lot of Bojack's mother's father, and you see a lot more about Bojack's father, and just those two fathers, like, there are some elements there that are just like, I'm sitting there going, people who have written this have experienced this. Because no one else could get that on the fucking head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, it is so fucking raw. And I'm glad it's out there, because other people will go, hey, look, this depression episode, oh my god. Somebody out there gets it. Yeah. And it's probably going to make them feel a bit shitty, because it's like, hey, remember how you have depression and this is what your brain sounds like all day? But it's also kind of, like, validating in a strange way. And it's like, hey, look, there are other people out there who have depression. There are other people out there who've had a shitty upbringing. Other people out there who have had really bad, really horrible lives. And now they're writing a really, very cleverly written show. And they've made it. They're doing well. They are functional people, for whatever that's worth. And it's quite a positive I'm taking away from that, I guess.
Oh, that's good.
But no, it was good.
It's very good.
Miserable, but it was good. Although I did like how it ended.
It was nice that the ending wasn't like the ending of the last season.
Yeah. Which is a bit grim. But no, I liked it. I can't recommend it if you want a bit of a roller coaster ride of holy fuck and laughing at when the parrots just flap their arms they can fly.
Yeah.
Or the clown dentists.
Fucking clown dentists.
That's the thing. This is a show that
the
goes...
same show.
I don't know.
How does it go from, like, because this is like in the same bunch of episodes you're having where they're talking about like actual severe parental abuse over the course of multiple generations. And relationships falling apart where everyone involved loves each other, but it's still all going wrong.
And
whilst
then you get
also
clown dentists.
Clown dentists.
in the woods, motivating people to run.
And
because they will bite you, and then you're just like, well, I guess that'll stop me from making excuses and actually get some exercise.
Someone running as a governor and causing their opponent to have his hands crushed and be replaced with chimp feet.
Or lobster claws. Or the hands of a mime murderer. Like, it's... The funny thing is, this is pretty seamless.
Yeah.
Unlike the reattached lobster claws.
Yeah, well... Yeah.
But yeah, so... Yeah.
Bojack, pretty good.
Pretty good. We should probably lighten the mood now.
Talk about D&D?
Let's talk about D&D. That's why everyone tunes in for anyway, and it's a lot more fun.
Yeah, just skip to this point anyway.
Yeah,
we should probably just put a timestamp of go, here's the part you want to listen to.
Yeah.
That's fine, as long as there are some things I say that might make people happy. I don't care.
I'm just being self-deprecating, don't worry.
Okay, that's fine. So, would you like to start us off with our little adventure?
We played D&D.
Yes, we did.
Thank you for listening to the MisanthroPod. I've been Snipe. That was terrible. Do it better.
Yeah, we had a fun D&D session. We haven't had one for a while. So
yeah, like shit, like just family emergencies.
Yeah.
And scheduling getting in the way.
Yep. So the last episode, which I presume we spoke about, was all manner of talking to people and setting stuff up, basically. Mm-hmm. And then one token fight at the end.
One token fight. Okay. That's fine.
This one was just a bit of a slog of a fight. Like, go somewhere and fight this thing, basically.
Well, it's because you've been busting your balls dealing with me being a massive douche and just quizzing you about everything.
Well, it's not just you.
No.
I'd like to think I'm probably the worst, which is why Drama Matt hates me the most.
Okay.
He's not saying that.
I was trying to, but I was yawning. I was like, I need to say something, but I can't because I'm yawning. None of that is true.
Okay. Self-deprecating humour.
Yes. Yeah. So it was a bit of a fight. That was all we were really doing. Was having a couple of little encounters.
Yeah. So leading on from our story, my character Nathan is he's got to go and get some spell reagents for a mysterious figure called Alvingham that's promising that he knows how to help Nathan out of his particular predicament, which he hasn't stated what. So we decide to, between Umberhulk saliva and troll blood, we choose...
Conveniently enough, the two ingredients you need are a level appropriate to the level you guys currently are at. Which
that is so weird. Yeah. I mean, it's lucky. Fucking lucky.
It's a good job we didn't need, Tarask jizz or anything.
Yeah. That's okay.
Don't give him ideas. We need the eyelash of a startled Tarask. Oh, shit.
A beholder's foreskin.
Do beholders have dicks? It's just one of the eye stalks, its dick.
Yes.
What kind of laser does that shoot?
Does that eye stalk still have an eyeball at the end of it?
Yes.
No.
Its dick stalk still has an eyeball at the end, okay.
Stop it. No, stop, because I just realised, because every eye stalk of a beholder does a different thing. The dick is the one that stops you. If it's looking at you, you can't cast spells.
Just because it feels awkward.
You can't do anything with your hands.
Because you've got to sit on them.
Yeah.
Get someone else to sit on your hands, it's fine.
Anyway, we had to go get these reagents.
We went to the lagoon, to the left of the town we're staying in, just for the duration, to go get some troll blood, which was we did pretty well.
We haven't encountered the trolls
yet. But...
We haven't got to the trolls yet. We've had two pretty vicious fights, but yeah, we meander.
The first fight wasn't vicious.
No, it was for the fucking bugbears.
Yeah.
Ooh, they got ruined.
So we came out into a clearing. And part of me was wondering if you just brought us out into a clearing and gave us a grid-based thing just to see what we'd do if there was nothing there. So we'd really
that
carefully...
is tempting, but you would spend still half a session just venturing to the other side. And I was like,
yeah,
we don't usually get much done in the time we've got. I mean, we have 5 or 6 hours, but we still don't get that much.
We don't get much done because we're all kind of sitting there.
It is.
Well, fuck.
As I've said before, that's entirely fine. I'm not having a go at that at all. But I think it will be taking the piss a bit just to trick you by putting a blank grid in just to see how slowly you walk across it.
That's fair, yeah. So we get to this clearing and immediately alarm bells are ringing because we're one of those parties that is massively suspicious to the point of inactivity. Nathan catches something out the corner of his eye and is immediately very paranoid, so we send our rogue up, to have a scout head. And she manages to sneak up this hill and behind this kind of little chipped down kind of wall. And she sees 4 or 5 bugbears lying on their bellies watching the clearing intently. Classic ambush scenario.
Yeah.
So she turns around and she telepathically communicates to Nathan, to my character, that there's an ambush and, oh noes, we should probably fuck all the dudes up. So we kind of plot, for the first time ever, we actually decide to use tactics and strategy.
Yeah.
Which is a new thing for us, but we're giving it a shot. Yeah. So we're okay, so Johnny, Wibb's character, sneaks up behind because two melees up front, and Sora and I will pelt them with spells from the clearing. Nathan creates an illusion that looks exactly like Johnny's grandmother. Coincidentally.
Are you suggesting all lady dwarfs look the same?
No, I just basically, because Nathan was like, I'll make a dwarf because it has to be 5 foot, maximum height and width, like a 5 foot cube. So what kind of ambushable person would be in that?
Because it's like a really basic illusion that it was probably walking like it's from like a 1980s arcade game.
I believe it was.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't think frames of animation.
Minor illusion is meant to conjure solid objects. I'm not sure if it's meant to be used for dwarves.
I'm not either, but
so it was definitely not the most convincing dwarf. But
no. But so Nathan was like, guess I'll make a lady dwarf, and Johnny's the only dwarf I currently know. So it was basically just a female Johnny, which looks like his nan.
Yeah.
So the illusion wanders out because it's only got a range of 30 feet. So it gets to 30 feet and then is just kind of stands there still. And they're like, yeah, let's...
In my head, still walking, but just walked into an invisible wall, basically.
Yes.
So the bugbears, not realising that this is such an obvious fucking decoy, are like, yeah, let's go get him. Talus and Johnny jump the bugbears.
Instantly murder one of them.
You guys evaporate one of them. They vaporize this guy on the spot. Sora and I are basically... We are so far away, nothing can touch us this whole time. We are having such a fucking laugh down there, just talking about, wouldn't it be great if we had some wine? Just pelting spells up over the hill, just not giving a fuck. Which I'm sure made everyone else in the party super happy with us. Especially, I don't think the bugbears liked it either, because after a few rounds of us just pelting them with brutal, horrifying spells, Sora chucking acid arrows at them, which basically immediately melted one of them, one of them jumps the fence and decides to just run the fuck down and just behead Nathan. Which is, that he has that effect on people.
Yeah.
So this bugbear's running, and... I can't remember exactly how he goes, but...
If I remember rightly, he runs towards you and...
Nathan immediately starts panicking, because that's just what he does.
Sora ends up, I think, incinerating him with the geyser of flame that she can...
Oh shit, yeah. She just vaporizes the guy, so just as he's about to swing for me. Oh wait, no, doesn't he actually hit me?
I think he does take a swing at you.
He hits me hard.
I think he throws a javelin at you, actually.
Oh yeah, he fucking, spears me. And then by the time he gets to me, he, just as he's about to raise his axe to, murder me, he just dies from his wounds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, see that? That was all me. I helped. I'm so good.
So the first combat actually goes pretty smoothly.
We used tactics. We got a bit of teamwork going on there.
We actually managed to pull off an ambush.
A counter ambush?
We ambushed the ambush.
Yes.
So that kind of worked out well.
Wow.
We then move along and we encounter a group of gnolls, I think they were, weren't they?
They were gnolls, yeah.
Yes.
Angry dogmen.
On the road who just eviscerated a deer. Mm-hmm. And I think buoyed by our strategy before...
We just stopped giving a fuck and didn't care.
We decided to try something a little bit stupider.
Okay, no, I think this was mainly my idea, so I defy it being called stupid.
Oh no, I think it was a fairly collaborative effort to pull this stupid idea together.
Okay.
So we all hide in the bushes because this group of gnolls hasn't noticed us yet. And
because one of us passes a kind of perception, we realise that the wind is flowing from us down to the gnolls.
Yeah, it was me actually that got it. I'm like, yeah, by the way, we're
standing upwind. We've got to hurry.
Yeah, we need to figure this out. So what happens is I step out. And I remember I have a flask of endless water that can erupt a geyser of water, and it can be
fresh or salt water.
Fresh or salt water. So I step out with the geyser with the.
Oh yeah, and you say something. I wrote this down.
Oh yeah. With the decanter of endless water in hand, and shout,
"Hey fuckos, have you ever eaten a dwarven arsehole?"
Yes. Which gathers...
That catches their attention.
And then suddenly I've got 5 or 6 gnolls running at me.
I think
5, and there was a captain. Well, basically like a big daddy angry gnoll as well.
Yes. And they all start running at me.
Slavering at the jaws.
So I let forth a geyser of salt water at them, which I think it does stun a couple of them. I think 'cause there is like a
couple of
stunning
them are knocked
effect.
down.
It knocks them prone,
Yeah,
potentially.
and does a minor amount of damage to a couple of them. And then Sora, because she's a dragonborn and has electric breath,
Real lightning.
casts lightning on them while they're all soaked. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I think that was a good idea for an opening gambit.
That's a good risk to start with.
Like, it was an interesting way to start it rather than just, sneaking up on them and stabbing one of them or whatever. Yeah. I think it was a fun thing to do.
I think if there's anything our group is guilty of, it's always trying to take combat in a weird fucking way.
Yeah. But so we do that. So we do that, and combat's obviously started. Everyone erupts from the bushes.
Apart from Nathan. Sora and I hang out in the bushes for like a couple more rounds, and then she leaves me. Well, she leaves me spectacularly.
Because so there's a couple of highlights. So combat goes down. I pop my rage boner that barbarians can do to make them harder to hurt, which was a good thing because the Gnoll captain or whatever it's called,
the boss Gnoll, decided to really try and take all of my health. Which is good because I have like half damage reduction on most things. Mm-hmm. And you've got the most hit points.
And I've got like twice the hit points of everyone. So
yeah,
if anyone else had been hit how I was hit, they'd be fucking dead.
Yes.
So yeah, we start. We get into the fight. Now we kind of point out because we still have a troll to fight after this.
Yeah, so we've been through 2 fights. We've already used up 1 short rest, and we don't want to use too many because then we'll be basically setting ourselves up for an ambush.
Yeah, and more importantly, because you get your spells back on a short rest being a warlock, whereas the wizard doesn't.
No, she doesn't. So, she's trying not to use any of her big spells because she can only cast so many per day.
Yeah.
And she needs a long rest, so...
So, she decided to not use spells and just go up and twat one of the gnolls on the head with her staff.
Yeah, she does so, and she stands up from the bushes and she bolts out into the fray, marches up behind a gnoll that's engaged in combat with Johnny and Talus, and just picks up a quarterstaff and boop, right in the fucking head.
Yeah.
And then he turns round in shock and horror and surprise at this fucking dragonborn nerd who's just emerged from the bushes and thwacked him with a cane, and she points at him and she goes, "Naughty boy!" The gnoll is obviously very surprised by this. And we are also we're like, honey, what? No. So, Nathan's just, watching on in horror, as I assume everyone who isn't Sora is also doing.
Yeah, me included. Knowing how hard,
yes.
Knowing how hard they hit.
Yeah.
And knowing how squishy and unarmoured she is.
Yep.
So... that's how she spends the rest of the combat.
Yeah, she just keeps twatting this fucking gnoll on the head with her cane. She gives no fucks.
I mean...
and it's working!
I mean, she does get kind of chewed to pieces.
She does, but at the same time...
the gnoll is dead at the end of it.
She killed that gnoll. She hit it so hard on the head, it killed the fucking thing. She literally just, thwack, and it was dead. What? This
should not have worked.
I was angry it worked, but I was also thoroughly relieved.
But then after that, because Snipe here had got an idea stuck in her head and she wanted to use it the whole fight, and then finally the opportunity came up.
So from the very beginning of the fight, I was threatening to just use cause warlocks have a telepathy. So you can kind of talk into a creature's head, provided that they can understand any language, you can communicate with them. And I was like, I want to convince one of the gnolls that I'm their god, and give them a command to fucking leave. This is going to be very difficult to do, as you might assume. But no, I threatened to do it first off. And couldn't really do it, so I had to use one of my normal spells, or fucking whatever. Some boring shit like that. The round finally comes where I'm like, no, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fucking do it. So I make sure I use a luck point because my character has that what is it called?
It's a trait. A feat.
Is it? A feat, yeah.
Well, you don't have to. You roll first. You choose to use your luck after you rolled. So you didn't necessarily say you were going to use luck to start.
I chose beforehand.
Okay, right.
So I rolled to telepathically convince one of the gnolls. I think I picked because the boss gnoll had been killed by now.
Yeah, I nearly chopped him in half.
You nearly cut him in two, yeah. But I was like, I want the strongest looking one, the one that had basically what Nathan would assume is the least injured, or at least from his vantage point of fapping in the bushes. And I was like, okay, I'm going to tell him that I'm their god, and I command them to leave because these people are horrifyingly scary murderers and they're going to kill him. First roll, I get a 1. And I'm like, aha! But I use a luck point. Next roll, fucking nat 20. Natural fucking 20. This is my proudest moment in D&D so far. Mainly because, Drummer Matt, I'm so sorry. I keep trying shit like this, and fair enough, Drummer Matt won't let me have it, because that would be insanely difficult to convince someone to just fuck off, like mid-fight, or before a fight begins. Very, very difficult, so it's completely fine. And honestly, this gnoll, like, the way you described it, it was gorgeous. It was like, the gnoll kind of, like, suddenly, like, it looks like lightning struck it. It's frantic. It grips onto its weapon. It starts freaking out. It throws its weapon, not particularly.
Yeah, but what did you say in its head?
Oh, I don't know. I just kind of barked a bunch of, "I am your god. You need to run now. These people are bad. It was like,
"Me am your god. You need to run away now.
These people kill you very bad." Yeah.
Because it's a gnoll, it's not particularly smart.
It convinced the damn thing, and it fucking runs. It literally, it throws its weapon at Johnny, and it fucking turntails, and it bolts like fucking Satan was chasing it. And, like, that means it gets 3 attacks of opportunity against it, because it's in direct contact with, like, the rest of the party. 2 of the guys, like, Johnny and Sora, miss, because Sora was just gonna hit it in the fucking head with a cane anyway. Talus basically just removes all of its internal organs. It, like, as it goes past, she fucking needles this bastard. It takes it another, like, 10 paces to realise that maybe half of its innards shouldn't be out of its body, and it looks down, and it just collapses. It's fucking gone. This makes Nathan feel like he has the biggest dick in the universe, and seeing Sora walk out there and literally kill a gnoll with a stick, he strides out of the bushes, and just goes, "Johnny, give me an axe!" To which Johnny's like, fucking, okay. Go get yourself killed.
So I throw you one of my hand axes. Because I'm a barbarian, so I of course have 3 axes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why not?
So Nathan botches his dex to catch it a little bit, so he kind of can't quite get it, because there's 1 gnoll left, and he's like, yeah, he runs up to it, like, jumps with this in the air, and slams down on it, and misses fucking terribly. Fuck, he misses so bad. And fucking, what was it you turned around at the fucking table and said, like, he turned to Drummer Matt and said, "Is a sigh a free action?" Like, and Drummer Matt's like, "Yes, it is." And he turns around and goes, Johnny goes, and then goes in and swings his axe. Johnny misses with his fucking axe. I turn around to Drummer Matt and go, "Is it a free action to sigh?" Nathan then goes, and then Talus comes in and sweeps it up, basically, and just fucking nukes him. So, that was a very fun end to a fucking stupid round of combat.
Yeah. Like, so I'm not even sure how, because all we did was have 2 rounds of combat. I don't know how it lasted as long as it did.
I think it's because we were too busy fucking about and just being twats in the corner and quipping at each other.
I think that was if we'd have just fought the things, especially in that second fight, if we'd have just fought them normally, and didn't try and douse them in water or hit them with sticks or convince them of their deity.
I didn't try. I fucking succeeded.
Or throwing or whiffing attacks with axes, then I think we would have probably got them out of the way like pretty quickly. But
yeah, I think there was a lot of fucking around, because when you guys were going up, Sora and I were like talking, like, because you snuck back to tell us about something. And you go, "Caw-caw!" You do your weird crow noise to kind of get our attention.
Oh, yeah, so this was in the first combat, while we were trying to figure out where these, what we then found out were bugbears, where they were, because we just saw movement. And I kind of crept through some some area of trees with like some undergrowth and stuff, which obviously I can sneak a lot easier being very, very small comparatively. So I kind of snuck through and I couldn't see anything, so I tried to call back to you using a bird sound.
What bird sound was that?
Well, the only bird sound I can do is a crow.
Could you do it for the people? It's my favourite thing.
So I do that, and then you and Sora just sit there going like, "Did you hear a crow?" I can't. No. There's a lot of them around at this time of year.
Nathan literally knew it was you and could not give less of a fuck. So he was like, "Hey, Sora, did you hear that?" She was like, "I did." I was like, "It sounded like a bit of a crow." There were loads of crows around when I was a kid, but like recently, you just don't see them around anymore. And she's like, "Yeah, honestly, I don't know if it's maybe infrastructure changing or maybe just more industrialization going around." And you're like, "Oi, fuckos!" Talus tells us to move up, and we're like, "Sora, did you hear something?"
I think my actual wording was, I crawl all the way back through this area and then come out next to you and I'm like, core, you dumb motherfuckers.
That's it. To which Nathan turns around and goes, "Sora, did you hear that?" And she's like, "I think I might have done, Nathan." So yeah, and then we just sat there taking the piss about drinking wine and letting you guys do the hard work.
Yeah. But still, so next session, which
hopefully we'll fight a troll
next week. I assume we will then go and fight the troll, and then hopefully then move on and go the direction of the Umberhulks.
Yep. But to be fair, we'll probably get the troll blood done, and then we'll do the Christmas special that Drummer Matt wants to do when he's over in the UK.
Well, we've got 2 sessions hopefully before I come back penciled in. So if both those happen, you should be able to get through both of them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah. And then that will hopefully tie in nicely to a vague Christmas plan I have.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed. But yeah,
we
that was
our
Adventures
in person,
of D&D.
which will be so much better than bloody...
Yes!
Oh, yeah. I think that might be part of the problem why it takes us so long, is just through Roll20. Yeah. Like, it just adds
a layer of extra fat.
Yeah. It's a bit like, playing 40k in Tabletop Simulator. It's technically the same thing, but everything takes twice as long.
Speaking of, Tabletop Simulator was on offer, so I bought it, so we can play 40k if you want at some point.
Yes.
Let's do that.
But anyway,
yes.
Carry on.
Anyway, that's all of Adventures about D&D for these 2 weeks. Also, Drummer Butt, do we have any questions?
There's a couple of emails. Do you want me to quickly...
Yes.
Let's go through them.
Yeah.
Okay,
and remember, if you have questions for us, send your emails to onlydrummermat@snipeandweb@gmail.com.
At Snipe and Web, you say?
Did I?
Yeah.
I apparently can't even say my own name now.
That's fine.
But anyway, the link's in the description, fucking whatever.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but this is, you guys can't get that sexy picture of Drummer Matt anymore.
No. I mean, not that one. You might...
Okay, you won't get that specific sexy picture.
Yeah.
We will be releasing, sticker books of sexy pictures of Drummer Matt. So... we won't really, but...
It's okay, you want to imagine,
I want to imagine that it's just that picture is on the cover. It just horribly artifacted, and Comic Sans with maybe a red Comic Sans text with a white stroke. It's sexy pictures of Drummer Matt.
Sexy rainbow font writing all over it with.
Oh,
that's true.
So
this is true.
But anyway, that's gone now. No one can get it again.
No one else will get that until we end up finding another.
Might be a Patreon reward at some point. Drummer Matt, questions.
So email feedback, as we mentioned earlier. Quite a few people emailed to specifically say they agreed with me about Ghostbusters, which was
nice. Cool.
Yeah, and there was no abuse emails at all, which was weirdly
shocking,
surprising. But
how is Drummer Matt ever going to get off if you guys keep being so nice to him?
Exactly.
He gets off on the degradation.
He loves it. He's a total sub.
Oh yes.
Yeah, a cooked sub.
What?
Yeah.
Totally, man.
I mean, if that's what you are for not being a dick and trying to be nice to people, yeah, fine.
Yeah, no, that's
come
fine.
on, I've been getting messages on fucking YouTube telling me that I'm a cook who likes to get pegged.
Because apparently, how is that a bad thing? That's hey, you have sexual fetishes.
There's just so many things wrong with that insult. Yeah.
Anyway, questions.
Andrew D, I've been chatting to him a little bit about... We mentioned a Firefly RPG a while ago, and I said I believe there is one. When we were talking about systems to run. He's been running one for a while. So there's 2. There's Serenity RPG and there's Firefly RPG. which I
Okay.
didn't know that both those two existed, but he's been running the two apparently. And they're
nice.
different. There's bits that you can cross over, but they're different enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So he said if we ever get round to playing it, well, he did offer to send the bloody rulebook over. And I was just like,
bless him.
that was very appreciated. But equally, I don't entirely trust the postal service here, and I don't want your book to get lost somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And not so much the postal service here, but just if we're out,
Postal service in general.
Yeah. So, but he said if we ever do get round to playing it, we can speak to him if we've got any questions. So,
Oh, that's
nice.
really nice. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
so I think at some point, I mean, it will probably not be for a few years, but
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
at some point in the future, hopefully, I'd quite like to have a go running one of those two.
That'd be
'Cause I
super
imagine
cool.
it'd be a
I
good
just want to be
setting.
a proper brown coat.
Yeah, exactly. So, what else we've got? Dat Foxdoe asking about the next campaign they should do. They're presumably, I think they've been running a campaign for a while. They're looking for the next thing to do. So the options are, and I've guessed what your two preferences are, but we'll see if I'm right. Nordic themed, Dark Heresy themed, Adventure Time campaign, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Although they said please no because they don't like it or something. An evil
It does sound a bit weird.
an evil campaign or a scripted adventure. And I can guess what your two answers are. But
I'm
go
going
on.
to go for the Nordic one.
No.
Yeah, I'm going to shock everyone here. I think that... Come on. That would be so rad.
How about a Nordic-themed Dark Heresy campaign?
That's even better. Yeah, do that. That's good.
Okay, combine your two answers. I assume your preference would be Dark Heresy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you guess right?
Actually, just combine all of them so you can have like.
Finn, the Viking.
I'm just seeing like a rogue trader who's got like Pokemon.
No, it's
like
a rogue trader who has Pokemon who's married to LSP.
Yeah, and he also.
Oh my god, Captain Blackeye! You'll never listen to my feelings!
And they just happen to always
It's like a weird heretical relationship.
They just
that he
always
has to
happen
keep
to be in
secret.
furs and snow, which will be Arcanine furs, obviously.
Arcanine furs, absolutely. They come from the land of the Arcanine fur and snow.
Yeah. Also, why is it Arcanine and not Arcanine?
I think it might have been Arcanine, but people are just doing things better.
But no, it's pronounced Arcanine in the show.
Yeah, but
Isn't
they
it?
also pronounce onigiri as mashed potatoes, so let's not give it that
that's
much
a jelly
credit.
donut.
Sorry, I forgot it's a jelly donut. I've turned my frying pan into a drying pan.
What?
I don't know how Brock. I don't know how he never got laid. Honestly, I don't care what your gender or sexual preference. That will disintegrate your underwear. Batman.
Okay, can you please say any other question we've got? Just say anything, man. I don't care what it is.
Someone who doesn't want to be named, they've been listening to us talk D&D, and they've just moved city recently-ish, and hearing us talk's got them off their butt to start a new group in a new city.
Oh,
nice.
good. I'm glad you got this, buddy. Whoever you are, you fucking
Yep.
got it, and it's going to be amazing. Go play some D and fucking D.
Yeah, I'm glad.
And yeah, that's more of a general trend. Like, it's so great to hear people getting into D&D, and then to hear that we are having an impact on people and getting them to play. So it's like,
Yeah,
you guys.
just tabletop in general, getting people into 40k, which we're sorry because models cost more than cocaine and pedigree horse semen, and
I think that's what Finecast is made of. Actually.
cocaine and pedigree horse semen.
would explain things. You could explain the bubbles you get in it.
I am so tempted to call this podcast the origin of Finecast bubbles now. It's all the horse semen, obviously.
They gotta get it into the mold real quick. Is all.
The cocaine is what gives it the actual substance to it, but the horse semen is the binding agent.
Yeah, exactly.
They gotta fucking really. Oh god.
I think the horse semen is the binding agent is one of those sentences that's going to come back to haunt me.
Yeah.
It's gonna come back to.
Yeah, definitely.
Come back just like the horse did.
Alright, okay.
What?
Moving on.
Okay, so yeah, it is really nice that we are getting people in, to see more people getting into tabletop and D&D. it's just wonderful, especially because, sometimes people say, hey, I wanted to try it, so you guys had fun. It's like, yes, we're doing well. We need more people playing D&D, because this is fantastic.
It's nice to see that we can have an effect on other people that's not just spreading our own brand of cynicism.
Yeah.
That's always nice. It's nice. It's always more pleasant to spread positivity than cynicism.
Yeah. And horse semen.
Yeah. Which is all over the place.
But you feel pretty gross about licking those brushes now, eh?
Moving on quickly.
That's why you have to wash your models before you paint them.
That's why you got to spray them, so you can really, lock down the horse seam.
Yeah.
We got an email from Grand Admiral blah blah blah, long name of House Giles blah blah blah. Lots of people who email us have long names, and I think it's one of our chapter's minor deviations from Codex Compliancy that I can never be bothered to read their entire names and titles.
I like the idea of Drummer Matt's character in the Cardinal Archivist of just basically being the correspondence person who just doesn't give a fuck and keeps missing out massive chunks of data that we need. Something from the Inquisition or whatever.
You make jokes about this, but my notes for their email, they had a long and complicated email. My notes for it is, in essence, they're popping to the shop on their way to, oh my goodness, do we want anything?
Yes. Could you get me...
I've offered them a glorious picture of myself in trade, so we can pretty much get what we want for that.
Awesome.
Oh, can I have a dip dab?
Yeah, I assume we need more food for the dino mounts.
Yeah, we do. Get me a steak and a tube of original Pringles, because Pringles are my jam right now.
Get some M&Ms, maybe?
Smarties. Let's get Smarties instead.
I prefer M&Ms, honestly.
I know, but I really like Smarties.
How about mini M&Ms?
How about mini Smarties? They're even better.
I don't think either of you two like this, but peanut butter M&Ms are amazing. So if you're coming via whatever the 40k version of America is, peanut butter M&Ms are the best.
Ooh. Okay, I will say that, what are they called? Nutter Butters? They're American cookies with they're double-sided cookies with a bit of peanut butter in between, and the actual cookie itself is made with a bit of peanut butter.
Okay.
They are life-changingly nice. I do like peanut butter. I just don't really like candy peanut butter, so I don't like it with chocolate. But I tried one of these because a friend of ours sent some over. Nutter Butters are life-changingly beautiful.
Ooh. You see, as someone that
they're
doesn't...
They're just basically just salt biscuits.
As someone that doesn't like peanut butter or peanuts in general, America's obsession with inserting peanut butter into places it should not go is something that is just bewildering to me.
I don't like peanut butter and anything apart from Nutter Butters, honestly. It's I don't like peanut butter and chocolate. I think it's just gross. It's just gross together,
they make the mistake of putting peanut butter in American chocolate, so it's...
American chocolate isn't very good. This is very true.
Yeah.
And since Americans bought Cadbury's, British chocolate is now not as good either.
But that's a whole separate thing. But yes, thank you, Brother Captain. In fact, get us a small packet of M&Ms and Smarties, actually, if that's okay.
I don't know, that feels really wasteful to get M&Ms and Smarties.
Well, I'm not going to eat any M&Ms, am I?
You totally will eat M&Ms.
If they were there, you'd definitely eat them.
Okay, I would, but I wouldn't feel that happy about it.
It's a bit like how I prefer M&Ms, but if you bought Smarties, I'm totally going to eat Smarties.
Okay, get a big bag of both. We're just going to be garbage.
Yeah,
and get yourself something nice as well.
Their ship's big enough to carry a bag of both, so...
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. Have you seen our ships, mate? Anyway, but yeah, get yourself something nice as well.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Get yourself a microwavable burger.
And a Panda Pop.
That's the most depressing meal ever.
Honestly, the Panda Pop makes it depressing. I would happily eat microwave hamburgers for every meal.
They're complete trash, but they're weirdly tasty.
They're so you're not wrong. You can feel yourself slowly dying when you eat them, but that's kind of the appeal. Yeah. It's a bit tangy.
Any more questions, or is that...
Yeah, we've got a couple more that are worth mentioning. Another email from Vikes, who we've had an email from them before, and I can't remember which one it was, but they agree with me on Ghostbusters, which is good. And they had a good quote,
actually. Is that the only reason
said,
you're reading their...
Nostalgia grows like moss, thicker and more obscuring with every passing year. And I was like, yeah, that's entirely true.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
And they do have a question. They said, D&D, do we prefer established settings, or adapting or running a loosely based one off an established one, or complete homebrew?
Oh,
what are your favourites? I
would be happy with anything, because the thing is, it's it's not so much about the module itself for like pre-established modules, it's about the person running them. So it depends how they, like, the person running them would do certain ones. But I mean, like, say, like, I'm gonna call it, like, Drummer Matt's our bottom bitch DM right now.
Yes.
He's our baby boy. So I anything Drummer Matt could throw at us, I would like. I feel that he would always put a bit of an individualistic spin on things, which I like. Because, you know, you're a bit brutal, and I like that.
Really?
Well, no, like, just, like, basically outing Nathan.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, yeah.
Was just like that was so perfectly aligned. The Schadenfreude was palpable. I loved it. It was horrible for him, and it made me so happy.
You see, the thing is, I don't know dick about the canonical Dungeons and Dragons world, so like, there's basically no difference to me between a completely homebrewed thing and like the canon D&D world.
I mean,
like,
we've only ever really played like homebrew kind of things.
like,
We played some, like, when we played Call of Cthulhu when we played Call of Cthulhu, I did run a pre-established kind of like starter module. I mix it up a little bit, but yeah, it's like,
yeah, but there's a difference between a module and a setting.
yeah, and I'm kind of like pre-existing settings, so it was using characters, like it was dropping characters pretty heavy. So, like, I honestly think I'd be happy with anything. I mean, I think my biggest problem, like, with someone running something in a pre-existing campaign is, like, say, they kept bringing in notable characters, like, oh, yes, and this person's coming in now, and it'd be a bit...
Big Dick Majee. Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I like how you're going to just nonsense rather than saying something that everyone can understand. Like, oh, yes, going into a pre-existing campaign and being like, oh, hey, here's Darth Vader or here's Gandalf or whatever.
Okay,
you have to make up the character of Big Dick Majee.
Yeah.
Not even McGee.
No, Majee. Yeah, Majee. It's homebrew.
Yeah, Majee.
You homebrewed names.
Yes.
Wait, hang on.
Why are you so against creativity? But no, to answer your question, I would be happy with... Pretty much, I just want to play D&D.
What would you run if you were running it? Because doing homebrew probably takes more time.
Yes.
I mean, both can take long, because if you want to know everything about where your players could go, you kind of need to know everything about the established setting, which is almost more time-consuming than making it up as you go along, potentially. Yeah. But I think as long as you don't go in too deep, using a pre-established setting is less time. And I thought I've just got the time at the moment, so I might as well give it a go.
Yeah. It probably depends a lot on how much your group knows about the setting as well, because if
you don't want them, like, because like they won't be able to help them kind of themselves using their pre-existing knowledge a little. I mean, that's the problem you have with D&D anyway.
Yeah, I imagine that's going to be more of a problem in something like, say if you're playing like the Firefly or a 40k RPG.
Well, and like Niska shows up and you're like, oh!
Yeah, like where people, whereas D&D I've always kind of interpreted, and I think this is like how a lot of people sort of intended it, whereas it's almost like every world that heroes exist in is like a parallel universe, almost set in the same basic setting. So it's running on the same rules and stuff, but like their story is not someone else's story, which is why, you know, multiple groups run the same stories. Mm-hmm. That's how I kind of interpret D&D as a setting.
That's a good way of doing it.
And whereas, like, you know, 40k or Firefly or Star Wars or whatever, that's a universe, and that means that there's going to be certain canon things that people will know about, and I think it's much easier to use your knowledge of the setting in those instances rather than D&D almost.
Yeah. God, I wouldn't want to run like a Star Trek session DMing it for you and be like, well, actually, that's not how that works. Like, shut up.
Actually, no, transporters can't work like that.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, just shut up.
You can't take us through that section of space at warp speed because that's where they've got like the speed limitations because it's tearing apart subspace. Like,
oh, no one cares. Like, just roll the fucking die. No. Transport.
Weirdly enough, your character has an aneurysm and just drops dead. That's it. Game over for you.
That's so strange. Oh well.
No, my character. You keep my character alive, but there'd be like fucking pikes stuck in the wheelchair where he can only communicate with binary beeping.
God damn it! This got dark. Okay, next question.
Final thing from JT Monkey or Adam. I don't know what he prefers, so I'll go with both. One not related to the podcast, but they're saying as someone who's emigrated to Ireland from the UK, and obviously I've moved to France from the UK. We're now their closest EU neighbour. What are my thoughts on that?
Yay!
I was like, oh god, that's going to get dark really quickly for the podcast.
Yeah.
But
I'm so glad you let this last.
it's fine. They had a couple of questions, and I thought I wouldn't skip over one of them just for the sake of not offending anyone who voted Brexit and is therefore an awful person.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe not intentionally awful, maybe accidentally awful, and
but awful nonetheless.
Yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Basically, people have voted for things that mean that I might have to not be able to live where I want to. So fuck that.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm coming back at some point. Don't get me wrong, but I'd like to be able to choose when that is, rather than just get kicked out of country, possibly. Mm-hmm. But a question on the band: Are the band ever playing again?
Probably.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I said. Hopefully, at some point.
Hopefully, I think we'll maybe have we'll have a few more kind of super special gigs.
Yeah, I quite like Dicko's idea of just sort of getting it out yearly. Or approximately yearly.
Or whenever we can, I think that'd be good. Because then it'd make gigs more special.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I think we know we're doing at least one more for Zoe's wedding.
Yeah.
So that's like one we know for definite. And I kind of see that's probably what's going to happen, is that we'll probably get together every now and again to play a gig. Although what I kind of would like to do is, because I imagine over the next couple of years and stuff, there'll be a handful of bits and pieces of music that will be written by the people who tend to write the music in the band, and I kind of feel like one day it might be fun to come back and kind of do another album.
That would be fun. It'll take a year, or at least a year, to do this one album, because we're very slow in the writing process.
I mean, Lord knows I've got a ton of music written.
Yeah. I could help ruin it for you.
I kind of feel like when I'm back in the UK, depending on what everyone's doing, whether we get back as Fighting Evil or not, but I kind of feel like we'll just end up jamming something. So if that just ends up being a different band with the same people, even if it's not the same band, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, well, I mean, Zoe, our saxophonist, has left the band.
Officially, yes.
Officially, she's left now.
Oh, really?
But don't you remember? She was like, "Oh yeah, last gig," and then like we did the 10-year anniversary. She was like, "Yeah, I'll play it," even though I'm technically not in the band anymore.
Oh, okay. Well,
but yeah, she had to leave. Everything's fine. We love her, and she loves us. But yeah, it sounds so horrible. It's, oh yeah, she left. It's like that sounds like oh yeah, she just split up with us. It's like
no.
It's just she's got her own stuff to do, and horn players do that.
Yeah, horn players wander off.
Horn players always drift in and out. It's just a thing. It's fine.
Maybe that's it. Maybe we'll form what will technically be like the same group of people, but it will be like, I don't know, a metal band now or what.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't have to play metal bass riffs, do I?
Oh no, you can play ska bass riffs, but in a metal band.
Oh yeah,
I have to play them at triple the speed.
Maximum the Hormone style slap bass in a metal sort of band.
That would be really cool, because I do feel that bassist is kind of my spirit animal.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Because the singer is kind of like
Dicko.
Yeah.
And the drummer is super cute and a nerd like you. And then
I'm hairy like their guitarist.
Yeah, really. And related to drummer. Wait a minute.
Hang on.
I just want to see Maximum the Hormone in concert so bad.
They're doing it. They're touring South America soon, and I was like, well, if that means they're coming to anywhere, I mean, not as part of the same tour, but if that means they're willing to tour other bits of the world, they might come to Europe. And basically, if they play a gig anywhere in Europe, fuck it, I'm getting there somehow.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Oh, but can you imagine what one of their gigs would be like? Oh,
it would be amazing.
But yeah, I think we should probably call it quits, because fuck, we've been going for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know how the final edit of this podcast will be, but currently it's looking like being the longest one we've done.
Bloody hell, yeah. We've been recording for over 2 hours.
Yeah.
So you'll know exactly how much bullshit we've cut out by the final.
It's going to be 15
length,
minutes long. It's going to be like, EA is bad. Thank you for listening.
You'll know how many political tirades were cut out.
Yeah. No, it'll be EA is bad. Loot boxes suck. Nathan did a really cool thing in D&D. Pedigree horse semen. Thank you for listening.
And Drummer Matt wasn't wrong.
Drummer Matt wasn't wrong. Yeah.
Also, I talked about Star Trek. Big fucking surprise.
I think people like hearing you talk about Star Trek. I mean, I hate it and I'd rather gouge out my eyes with a fucking spork, but that's just... No, I'm joking. So, I think we should finally leave all these lovely people be.
Yes.
Yes, thank you so much for listening to the MisanthroPod. I've been Snipe, and that's been Wib, and that's been Drummer Matt. Thank you for listening. You can go away.
Bye.
Go away.
Bye.
Bye.